Then now go. Great. Thank you, Elsie. Hi, everyone. Hi, welcome. Jim, other doc, you made this stream come to life by giving a hero point. Look at that. Jim gave a hero point, and then the stream started. Welcome, everyone, to Impossible Landscapes, our Delta Green playthrough here on Lost Caravan RPG. I am your handler, Doc Rimbo. I use he, she, and they pronouns. And I am so excited we're here. Last week, we did I yoinked the rug just a little bit from my agents, and we'll talk more about that later. Yoda, I know you're still catching up in chat, Yoda Almighty, so just be prepared for that. It'll be a twist for you too if you missed last week's episode. But it will also explain why all of my lovely cast members are dressed in pajamas for BizCash Thursday. And all that. So let us. Oh, thank you for gifting the sub, Colin. We're doing a hype train. Okay, great, cool, great, awesome. All right, how about that? You did a hype train. We're all accomplishing things today. Let's go around, and I'll do a recap in a little bit, but we'll meet each person present and tell us about your agent and who they think they are. And then we will also ask if your agent were a color, like a color of the rainbow, or whatever. What color would they be? And that's I don't have an agent, so I can't answer. Let's start with Jana with Cyberella. Hi, Jana.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing okay. I mean, good. Mostly. My character, on the other hand.
Yeah, she's safe. She's fed. She's
yeah.
alive-ish.
I'm Cyberella. I think I'm playing Agent Maple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I believe I'm, Marianne Johnson. NSA, former NSA agent. Here after she had a little bit of issue when she broke her hip on an investigation one day.
When was that?
Well, that was back in 94.
It was back in 94. She retired, right?
Yeah, she retired after that incident.
Interesting. So you think? And what color is Agent Maple?
Oh, Agent Maple, if she'd be she'd be a red. She's like orange red. She's a fiery old lady. I think that's the color of her soul. That
is fair. She is a fiery lady, and we love her for it. I won't go into too much more detail about that. Let us keep going. We'll go to your right on the Twitch screen, stage right from you, which is Lonnie. Lonnie, how are you?
Hi.
How are you?
Doing all right.
How's Thelma?
Thelma is a little defeated right now. I think she kind of got that taste of sitting there and trying to do something and getting the whack on the hand that was like, okay, maybe not. So I would also say that I am the color red, but in a different way, because it's more so the shade of embarrassment, like cheeks flushing.
I was thinking we'd see like angry Thelma this week, which would be interesting.
Well, this is going to be interesting because I might have decided a different. Well, we'll see. Right now,
I'm just saying, like,
right now I'm thinking embarrassed, and we'll see what direction she gets pushed in with different treatments and stuff.
Right on. Great, super duper. Let's keep going, and we'll talk to Liv, who's playing Agent Margin.
Yeah, Agent Margin.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
That's right. How are you? Still totally in it.
Yeah, that's who I am. That's my character. I am playing Agent Margin. He uses she, her pronouns. I'm Liv, and I use she, they. And if Agent Margin was a color...
What a hard question for somebody who is just, by all means, just off the deep end.
Yeah. Okay, in all seriousness, though, while some might associate her with the color yellow, I've always associated this character with specifically like denim blue. Like, you ever have like a soft, like bright blue pair of pants? Like, not the dark denim, but the lighter wash denim.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah.
Even Leanne in a past season. Like,
I'm playing Agent Margin.
Oh, sorry. Even Agent Margin.
All her life.
I knew another character like her in a previous season.
That's fair.
I associated blue because that person was really good at computers, and blue is a very computer color for me.
That's
I think it's because, like, when we got our first computer, the backgrounds were all like cloudy skies, like partly cloudy with blue skies and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't know. Okay. Let's go up top to my left to the world's bravest boy, Turk. How are you?
I'm doing great, and
Yeah.
Thank you.
And how is Maltese doing?
Maltese is also doing fine, all things considered. He has a plan. It's probably not a good plan, but he's got a plan.
Good.
And it involves maybe kicking that guy in the dick again.
Okay, so dick round 2.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how many kicks does it take to take down the lion? Yeah.
I like that.
But I am going to kick Ed a whole bunch, and it'll be great. Anyway, yeah, Turk accented. I use he him pronouns, and I'm playing Agent Maltese, who also uses the same. And Maltese is not a color like a dark blue because
like
it's calming. Blue? Yeah, exactly. Like it's calming. It's Mets related, but at the same time, it's also the a little dangerous, like the dark deep oceans, dark blue.
Yeah.
With lights escaping, kind of.
Still waters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Well, that's everyone. Before we go any further, I want to thank our sponsors. We want to say a special thank you to Epidemic Sound. Epidemic does music that you can pay a licensing thing for, and then you get all this great music to use in streams and other places. And it doesn't cost as much as pop music or music for movies to pay for royalties. And so I use Epidemic for all of the music you'll hear tonight and all the sound effects too. And if you want to start trying out Epidemic Sound, we put a link in the chat. And if you are a streamer or a creator of any kind, it's great. I had the weirdest thing where I was listening to... What was I listening to? Shoot, I think I was watching an episode of Dimension 20, and I was like, oh, that's an Epidemic soundtrack. Like, I could hear it, Anyway, so that's there. We also want to say thank you to Soul Muppet Publishing. Soul Muppet Publishing is coming out with a brand new campaign.
Why do you hate me?
For Orbital Blues. Nope, not talking to you, Colin. And then I just forgot, and I'm just going straight through. Now I'm just pushing through. So you can.
You legit forgot or not?
Shh, it's okay.
Tell
Everyone,
if it was
it's okay.
a bit or not.
It's not a bit. I completely forgot until you just said something, but it's okay. Everything's fine.
It's really easy to overlook.
I have
the finality with which you said, and that's everyone.
I'm neurodivergent.
Aren't we
anyway,
all?
Soul Muppet Publishing, who are coming out with a new supplement for Orbital Blues, the cowboy space western game that you should check out, and we have their link up in chat as well. Oh, you know what? I just remembered we haven't checked in with Colin. Hey, Colin.
I don't want to talk to you anymore. I think. I don't have to be here. Okay.
Well, if Colin's not going to talk to me, can I talk to Bradley Ethan Barnes?
I thought you'd never ask.
Is Bradley in the room with us?
Bradley's always here with me. What do you want to know, Justin?
I'd like to know, Bradley's had, a trying few days. So what's Bradley's favorite color? What kind of color is Bradley?
Well, first of all, it's Bradley Ethan Barnes III, not to be confused with my peepaw, who was Bradley Ethan Barnes Sr.
Right.
And my daddy, who was Bradley Ethan Barnes II.
Right.
May he rest in peace. What color? Well, I think You ever seen a rattlesnake?
Have I? Yes.
Yeah, he's rattlesnake color.
Okay, so like a dusty brownish.
No, rattlesnake color.
Okay, rattlesnake color.
Yep.
Got it. The
That's
color
my
of
story,
rattlesnakes.
Color of rattlesnakes. Rattlesnake color. Yep.
Excellent.
You know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean because I've seen a rattlesnake before. Awesome.
Rattlesnake color.
I clear my throat, and then we will get down to business because things are crazy. First of all, this is a horror game. It's intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. It likely contains things like violence, death, surreal horror. It definitely contains things like psychiatric institutions and bordering on medical malpractice and abuse and things like that. So if at any point you're like, nope, I'm not going to go for this, then go ahead and take a break and back away. We won't feel bad about that. Also, it's worth noting, again, for a second time, that last week had a big twist attached to it. So if that's your thing, you might want to watch last week's episode first, but we're glad you're here. So stick around if you can. Deception is a right. Truth is a privilege. Innocence is a luxury. Knowledge is death. Born of the U.S. government's 1928 raid on the degenerate coastal town of Innsmouth, Massachusetts, the organization known as Delta Green opposes the forces of darkness with honor, but without glory. All of the agents that you see before you have, at one point or another, worked for Delta Green. But as we say here every week, knowledge is death, and innocence is a luxury. And many Delta Green agents, after being exposed to the unnatural horrors that they see in their work, or maybe after suffering some sort of traumatic loss of a bond in their personal life, many of them struggle to maintain control over their own lives. And so all of these agents, at one point or another, were sent by loved ones or by the organization itself to a psychiatric care facility in the Clam Point neighborhood of Boston, Massachusetts, known as the Dorchester House. They've been here for a differing amount of time, but over the years they've connected with one another, and whether within the scope of their own delusions or some other way, they decided to create a team of their own, a new M-cell, to investigate the strange goings-on here in the Dorchester House. Of course, sometimes they get way too into it. And so last week, we saw as the veil was lifted, as the curtain came up, and we saw the set dressing for what it was, that these people, although they have a history in public service and combating the supernatural, are patients at a psychiatric facility. And that's where we join them all today. If time worked the way time was supposed to, it would be somewhere in September of 2015. And we are on the third level of the Dorchester House, outside one of the shared meeting rooms, known colloquially by the night staff as the Pink Room. Our agents are arriving one by one, and as you arrive, inside the room, you see a few faces that you know. One is Dr. Maximo Friend. Dr. Friend is the chief administrator here at the Dorchester House. He tends to do all of your group therapy sessions. The room is also staffed with a number of orderlies, including Mr. Ed Dubrovnik. Ed is a monster of a man who gives 2 warnings before using his bat on patients. And in the chairs arranged in a circle around the middle of this room, there are 2 patients. Colin. I'm sorry, Bradley.
You can continue if you got narration.
Okay. Yeah, I'll come to you in a moment. I'll come to you in a second. The 2 patients in the room are seated not next to each other and not next to Dr. Friend, but spaced out in the circle just a little bit. One of them is familiar to the agents who had visited the Dorchester house before. He is named Timothy Bale. You remember him as a veteran and as a withdrawn, nervous, apologetic person. The other person is unfamiliar to you, but he sits with a hunch. His limbs are bent in a way that seems like it's painful for him to move them too quickly, and his head is oversized. It is stretched and contorted and marked with scars and maybe burn marks. You can see both of these patients and Dr. Friend and Mr. Ed Dubrovnik in the evidence board. But this last patient, the one with the deformities, when he saw Agent Margin, called out, greeting her as Deputy Avon, Officer Avon. The room that you're about to enter for group therapy is bright pink on all walls. It is upsettingly pink. You know what I mean? It's like an affront to your senses. There is a circle of olive green, lightweight chairs around the center of the room. There is also a set of small tables in like the end of the room, like where you think where they might have maybe food or something along those lines. Today, those tables are empty. And one by one, you approach and find a place to sit. Colin, was there something you wanted to know?
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about Mr. Ed, who in this case is not a talking horse, but in fact a very large, scary man with a bat. He beat my ass last episode with
Sure did.
Ed Bat.
Yeah.
How am I doing?
You were sedated afterward. And if you get a full night's rest in a safe place, which this kind of isn't, you would get
I would say
HP
arguably
back.
isn't. Yeah.
Where were you at the end of that kerfuffle?
In terms of mechanically, I lost 3 hit points from that, so I'm at 12 out of 15.
You get one of them back for being sedated in a bed for a while. If you needed medical attention, you could ask for that. That would help a lot more.
I think just like narratively and visually, I think he pretty obviously just survived an ass beating.
Yeah.
Like
you do have you don't have any black eyes. You do have bruises around your rib cage. You feel like maybe a rib got cracked. Something along those lines. You do have a big gash on the back of your head from where he threw you into the window. There's a goose egg there. It still stings quite a bit. So as you enter one by one, where does everyone sit in this circle? So basically you've got Dr. Friend, you've got like 2 empty seats, and then you've got Timothy Bale, another empty seat, Mr. Wilde, another empty seat. You can tell me if you have a preference.
I work as a firefighter. You said it was kind of hard to. You said it was kind of hard to determine what the scars come from, could I make maybe a forensics or first aid roll to like confirm or deny if they might be burned?
You're talking about
scars?
Mr. Wilde, yeah?
Yeah.
Specifically, I would say it's probably not worth your time to do that. Like, it's hard to tell, but his skin is it's almost leathery in the way that it's healed over maybe multiple times. What is your first aid score?
70.
Okay. I think with a 70, you know that, well, first of all, whatever it was painful. Obviously, whatever happened to him. Gosh, like, it's almost like if you didn't know any better, you think he was wearing somebody else's skin on his face, but he's not. Like, it's very bulky, and it has a lot of, it looks tough, it looks leathery, but it could be burns, it could be maybe across, like he had glass or something like that dragged across his face. But whatever it was, it's healed. It's just strange. The deformities themselves are harder. You don't know if it was a cause of birth, that like his head is that big, but it's noticeable.
I'll go sit with him.
Okay. You go and you sit next to Mr. Wilde, and he turns to you and he says, "Hey, how are you?"
Oh, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking.
That's good. He looks at you, and you saw this look last week too. He sort of looks at you up and down. He goes, "What's your name?"
Oh, it's Tommy. That's what they tell me.
Yeah. All right. I'm Mr. Wilde.
Yeah?
I don't think I know your friends either. And he says this to you sort of in confidence. He points at Margin, aka Leanne, and says, "She's familiar. And I can't figure out why, but I've met her before. But the rest of you knew."
Yeah, well, first time being here. Now I keep that part lower, but trying to get out,
You're trying to get out of here?
I mean, if you're interested. If you know things.
Yeah, now those are two different things. I know things. I mean, I know a lot of things, I know lots of stuff. But getting out, it's not so much a question of if I want to. No, it's not so much a question of if I can. It's a question of whether or not I want to. Well, and he sort of like looks over toward Dr. Friend, who is flashing a look at both of you. He says, We'll talk later. And he goes back to like sitting, and with a considerable effort, he reaches into like a breast pocket of his scrubs and pulls out a notebook. And it's identical to many of the notebooks you've seen here. But then he, from the same pocket, takes out this red crayon and opens it up so nobody else can see what he's doing, and like he's not writing in it, but he's going up and down, like looking at things in the notebook. Let's go to somebody else who is also seated somewhere specific.
Did you say there were 2 seats next to Dr. Friend?
There are 2 between Dr. Friend and Timothy Bale, yes.
Okay. I want to sit next to Timothy Bale, but kind of in the mindset of like more so trying to avoid the gaze of Dr. Friend and not sitting right next to him, and like hoping like if I'm not right across from him, I can kind of just...
You're doing the thing that I used to do in school. You're pulling one of those.
Yeah.
Where you don't have your homework and you just hope that they don't call on you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna go sit with my assistant, obviously.
Okay, yeah. Elena's also there. She followed you. Oh, sorry. Elena's not your assistant anymore. You're right.
No.
Thelma's your new
is.
assistant.
Thelma's
And you
my
go
assistant.
see
Elena's
between-
fired.
Elena was
You
fucking useless.
She's out. She doesn't know that yet, but let's just let things run their course. So you sit between Thelma and Dr. Friend.
Yes.
Okay. As you sit down, Dr. Friend turns to you and gives you a little smile, Leanne, like a friendly, like, you know. And Thelma, as you sit down, the guy next to you looks at you, and again, he looks at you with this expression that you saw last week of, I don't recognize these people, and that's strange.
I don't think she meets his eyes. I think she might clock that he's looking at her, but I don't think she'd even be able to sense the expression.
Okay.
She'll sit down and kind of just keep her head down.
He studies you, and the rest of you, he's not hiding this. He studies you for a slightly uncomfortable number of moments. Like, just a little too long, but like looks at you as if he's trying to place you.
Out of curiosity, were we able to keep any jewelry that we had on us? Or is that something that I had a ring?
You did. And where was that?
I was wearing it on my finger at the time.
There are no rings on your finger.
Okay.
Check around your neck just in case. No. There is not a ring there.
I think she's kind of still like doing the motion of like twisting a ring around her finger, but just kind of like just ringing her finger.
Timothy Bale, seeing you do this, is like watching you, goes, You okay? Did you lose something?
Just a habit. You okay? Trying to just...
He shrugs, like, as if to say, you know, as okay as I can be. Right?
She'll kind
and
of...
And then he just goes back to sitting in his seat. So that's that first... So past... anyone sitting on the other side of Mr. Wilde?
Is Mr. Ed here?
Mr. Ed is here, but not seated. He and 3 other orderlies are standing in the corners of the room.
I wish to sit at the seat that is pointing directly at Mr. Ed.
Excellent. That we can do that for sure. Let's say you're on Dr. Friend's left, and Ed is in that far back corner of the room. And you just got him, and he is standing there, void of emotion, just staring at the room.
I think between the recent ass kicking and the sedatives that surely went along with it, and also Magnolia's general lack of emotional content, Magnolia sits down. He is like sitting more upright than he probably naturally would. Like his posture is perfect, as if to try to convey like, I'm not really hurt, you didn't hurt me. And
he's flexing.
He's flexing, yeah. Even though his ribs are in so much fucking pain right now, and he probably just wants to like punch over. He is sitting upright, and he is looking straight at Mr. Ed, with a silent challenge of, is that all you fucking got?
Nice. How about a POW ×5 check for you?
Okay.
This is just to like keep up that, you know, I'm not hurt facade. You sit up in your seat, and you
my poor boy.
Like, you're doing great. I mean, you're pulling it off, and you look at Ed, and you just sort of stare him in the eye, and then you take a breath, and you hear like a pop in your rib cage, and it just like a shock of pain, and you
I think
wince.
it's It's just a win. It's the
It's just a win.
If you weren't looking, you wouldn't notice it. But Ed was looking.
Yes. Well, when you open your eyes back up, Ed is still staring at you without emotion, but somewhere behind his eyes, there's like a smirk. Maybe you're just imagining it. What about Maple? You're the last one to enter.
I guess I'm taking whatever seat is open.
It would be between Mr. Wilde and Magnolia and Bradley.
Okay, I'll take that one.
You sit down. Mr. Wilde turns and says, "Good evening." Like overly formal, trying to be funny.
I guess it's a good time of day to you too.
Yeah, time of day, right? It's good. He turns back to what he's doing in his book. And eventually, he's got a little notebook.
What you writing in there?
Huh? Oh, I was just reading. I was catching up. I got a notebook, but I don't know. I mean, it's mine, and I write in it. And then, before he can go any further, he's interrupted. And Dr. Friend sort of claps his hands together, and two agents in the hallway shut the door, and you hear a ka-chunk. Two orderlies, ka-chunk, lock the door. And Dr. Friend takes a deep breath, closes his eyes, and breathes in slowly. Sort of got this kind of vibe to it. It's a little bit I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, but it's a little bit showy. It's a little bit
performative.
Yeah. But it's also kind of condescending in a way. You know what I mean? It's kind of he's that guy who criticizes your yoga routine and just sort of takes a deep breath and exhales, and he says, "All right, good evening, everyone. I'm so glad all of you could be here. I'm so happy to see that Bradley could join us. Before we start, let's say it together, okay? Say it with me. We are, everybody together, come on. We are here to heal hearts and minds." Very good. That was an improvement over last time. And when he says this, Mr. Wilde and Timothy, without joy, mouth the words, as if he said it a million times to them.
Yeah, I've been to church, yeah.
I didn't say a goddamn thing.
No, you did not.
And also with you, Doctor.
Thank you, Leanne.
Also with you.
Oh my goodness, it's funny. It kind of reminds me of a church sometimes or something like that. But that's okay. We're doing good things here. Now, I know that we all know each other, but we're still going to go around the circle. And I'd like to hear everybody introduce themselves. Tell us what your name is. We'll just make it real fast. Let's start over here. And he turns to Leanne.
Oh God! Does he want my
Go ahead,
actual
Leanne.
name? Oh, okay.
Share your name.
Whatever your heart says.
Well, my name is Margin or Leanne.
Okay, Leanne. Yep. Leanne, thank you so much. Good job. Next. And he looks down at Thelma.
Hi, my name is Dr. Thelma Thelma Griffin Myers.
Thelma, thank you for being here, Doctor, he says, in a way. And he looks at Timothy and goes, "All right, Timothy." And he says, "I'm Tim Bale. Still." This is very good. Okay, who is next? I think, Tommy, I think you're next.
Oh, yeah, I'm Tommy.
Right, that'll do. Thank you, Tommy. Mr. Wilde, he says before friend could ask him. He's like, that's right, Mr. Wilde, good to see you. And he looks at Marianne.
Maple.
He pauses. Okay. All right, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. And then he looks at Bradley. Still looks.
Bucky.
Bucky. All right, okay. Bucky, we're calling him Bucky. That sounds like fun. What a fun name. Okay.
You say so.
Before we start, let's go over any announcements. Here's something. Unfortunately, we do not have the cigarette bar open today in the back of the room. Because, and he looks at Marianne, somebody misused their cigarette privileges. And one of our orderlies got a burn. Ow. Okay, so no cigarettes today. We'll see how it goes. And remember, with enough good behavior, we can have a pizza party in our group sessions. Okay? Kind of at the bottom of that ladder, but we can do it.
What kind of pizza?
Oh, whew. I don't know. What's your favorite kind of pizza? Maple?
I've always been a supreme type of lady.
I believe you are a supreme type of lady. Supremely something. Okay. Now, another thing I'd like to say is that when we are in group, let's remember that we respect one another by staying seated and listening when other people are talking, okay? And as a patient here, you owe something, both to the institution, but also to your loved ones who put you here, okay? You owe them to work hard to better yourself. That's what we're here for. We're here to heal hearts and minds, remember. Okay, so we'll do our reflection questions. Just start with Leanne. We're going to go around the circle. Of course, when I ask you a question, we just need an answer from you to help us see into you or into your heart. Okay?
I'm an open book.
You sure are, Leanne. That's great. All right, here we go. Leanne. What do you do to relax?
Well, I guess nowadays I read. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I love reading and I love books. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good answer. All right, let's keep on going. He says, all right, Thelma. Let me see. What should we ask? Oh, how about this? Thelma, have you ever received an invitation to a party?
Yes, I believe so.
What was the last party you got an invitation to?
Well, I got to go to a fancy ball with a bunch of doctors.
He starts writing like on his little clipboard. He's like, really, a ball with some doctors? Sounds fun. Was it anybody we know? We're both doctors.
She'll kind of do a little quick look around the room and be like, not that I think.
Oh, that's too bad. I love balls. I love dancing. I'd love to be invited to a ball. Okay, terrific. Thank you, Thelma, you lucky bitch. Okay, Tim. And he looks at Timothy Bale, sorry. He goes, Tim, how do you take care of yourself? What do you do for self-care? And Tim says, I mean, it's tough. I'm got so much stuff on my plate. I'm responsible for so many things, and it always feels like there's so much to do. He says, Tim, now you can't have that much on your plate. He's like, no, I do. I've got a lot, and it feels. Sometimes it feels like I'm drowning, under like my responsibilities. I don't know if any of you. And he looks at everyone else with this like earnest, genuine affect to him. He's like, I don't know if you guys can relate to any of this. Just like when I get overwhelmed, it feels like it's pulling me under, like I'm drowning. And Dr. Friend goes, drowning? Stupid way to think of it. You're not drowning. If you start talking like that, we're gonna have to, get you into a room. You can talk to Asa, okay? Goes back, writes something down in his little book, and then he looks at Tommy. Tommy, describe for me. A scenario, okay? What was the last time when you were certain that the world wasn't real?
Oh, well, I thought I was an agent of some sort, and I was really looking into some strange buildings, and I come into one, but obviously that's crazy. I just, I walk into a hospital, kind of loony bin ward sort of thing, and there, walk up the stairs looking for my friend, and all of a sudden, well, it's funny because you're Dr. Friend, but that's funny. But,
I am your friend.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously that was all a delusion. I thought I was like worried about some like weird symbology and cult stuff, save
Right.
the world,
Seems like a tall order for one person.
Oh, I had a team. They were really cool, but obviously that's all.
That's right. Remember, this is what we talked about before, Tommy. Remember, buildings are real, and you might have real memories of those places, but your brain is just confused. It's just not a very good brain. All right, Mr. Wilde. Do you ever believe that someone or something was out to get you? And Mr. Wilde goes, I suppose, maybe once. Like, I don't really remember my life outside of here, so if somebody wanted me, they could come and find me, I guess. And Dr. Friend frowns, and he's like, all right. I guess Mr. Wilde. Sort of says his name like that. Mary at Maple. I'm sorry. You wanted to be called Maple today. Maple, do you think that the others in your group of friends consider you to be a spoil sport, like you're ruining things for them?
I'm old as fuck. Of course I ruin all the good fun. I can't have the fun I used to have, the fun I loved having. Nothing was more fun than hoisting another woman up against the wall and just kissing the shit out of her.
Okay.
Making her so fucking wet. So no, I don't think anyone else thinks I'm actually that much fun. I can't do that anymore. I'm too old.
You're fun, Maple. What are you talking about?
Tommy, she's been pushing you up against the wall.
Oh, no.
Oh, not Mr. March over here. Ain't my style.
Okay, now
No, he's
remember
cute.
that. Hold on. We've talked about this, and I need to enforce it, okay? That one time that you saw Tommy with his shirt off doesn't mean that you can call him Mr. March.
I don't know. Tommy.
Tommy, we're going to keep our clothes on. Even if we're feeling angry or sad, it's not okay to start pulling clothing off in the middle of the cafeteria.
I don't want to get your clothes dirty. Especially around food.
You let us worry about that, Just, I feel like you're confusing Maple. She's so old.
It sounds like a lot for one person.
You know what? Honestly,
about.
I am confused. In fact, I'm confused and I'm really warm right now. And she'll start taking off her shirt.
Maple, if you're going
Maybe
to
they can call me Miss June.
How far do you push it?
Oh, she goes, go for it.
Okay, he doesn't stop you. And the orderlies like in the room look at him, and anyone who's watching him will see him just go. And eventually, just in your underwear, naked.
Oh, naked. No shirt. There's no bra on. I don't think she's wearing a bra at this place. No bra.
Can't wait to
She's
see the
free-balling.
art this week. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, old lady
Just-
tits. Let's do it.
Just old lady tits. Just Maple sitting there completely in the nude, and he doesn't even mention it. Like, and so you're left naked and kind of vulnerable and chilly in this disgustingly pink room. Bradley, do you enjoy activities of your own choosing?
You want to try my name one more time?
Bucky. I apologize.
Can I ask you something, Doctor?
He thinks for a moment. Make me a persuade check.
So persuasive. So persuasive.
Ooh, that's a
24.
success. He says, how about this, Bradley? If we can get that question I asked you in. Sorry, Bucky. You answer the question I posed to you, then yes, you can ask me a question as well. So, do you enjoy activities of your own choosing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I made the conscious decision to take the lives of 96 people in my short time on God's green earth, and I enjoyed choosing the death of every single one of those people, Doctor.
Good for you, Bradley. He writes something down.
Thought you were up to 98.
I have questions about those last two.
Numbers
Now it's
can
my
be
turn to ask
tricky.
you something.
Please go ahead.
You said that I owe it. I believe at the beginning that we owe it to our loved ones. Try to get better, right?
Of course. I mean, why else are you here?
Well, that's exactly my question, Doctor, because what does that mean if we ain't got no loved ones? I mean, my people don't even recognize me anymore, and the last man who really gave me his love, the last person I called a friend, in fact, the last person to call me Bucky, I suppose not the last person, but one of the last ones, but I strangled him to death in a prison cell in China. I actually pulled the sheet over his face and felt the breath leave his body.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's that mean for me, Doctor? Who do I owe my healing to?
He writes just nonstop, but also like active listening as you say those things, nodding. And then when you stop, he says, I don't envy you, Bradley. You have had a difficult time of it, okay? But here's what I want you to know is even when we feel like nobody loves us, we know there's someone who cares for us out there. At least somebody who's watching us. And I don't know. Hey, and he like puts a hand on your knee.
No,
And he says,
touchy.
All right. He removes it. Says, Bradley, don't forget. King is watching you, buddy. Okay? And as he says that, Bradley, the room around you starts to change. And where there were pink walls, they kind of fade a little bit.
God, it's Downton Abbey.
Yeah, instead it starts to look like a 18th century throne room of a palace somewhere. And as you look at Dr. Friend, he's no longer dressed in his white doctor coat and a tie. Instead, he's wearing like the clothes of a noble person, a doublet, sort of these big, poofy four-armed sleeves. And when he speaks to you, and he says, "The king is watching, Bradley. Is it not a problem?" And all of a sudden, he has this accent. Everybody else, when he's speaking to Bradley, you hear him speaking in a language that you've never heard of, that is totally unfamiliar to you. And it comes out as gibberish, as nonsense. But Bradley, you understand every word. So anything that Friend just said in terms of answering that question, none of you know what he said, because it was, you know, like, it's like listening to someone play The Sims. Like, it was just... And then he turns to Leanne. Leanne, he turns towards you, and again, the walls melt away. And you notice that this newly beclothed, noble Dr. Friend is now seated on, it's like one of those puffs, like it's like a chair, but it doesn't have a back. But it has this gold gilding around it. And it's not a throne. And the reason you know it's not a throne, Leanne, is because behind him there is a throne. And that throne is pointedly empty. And he's seated on the seat, and he turns to you, and he says, "Leanne, when did you first encounter the play The King in Yellow?" All of you hear, except for
Okay.
Leanne.
Including me? Even though I
Yeah.
just... Was it... Okay.
It's now nonsense to you. Only
Oh,
Leanne
okay.
can understand it.
Gotcha.
Quick question. Do I
Yeah.
recognize this room at all?
Do you have history, anthropology, any sort of cultural skill that might be able to identify it?
Give me one moment.
Yeah.
Okay, you said like any anthological. Let's see. I have history 10. I have occult 30.
Cult wouldn't help you here. Yeah, I'd like something more like geographical or historical.
Yeah, I have history 10.
You can make a long shot and roll history if you want.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? We ball.
Yeah, why not? Why not? You're calm. That's a failure. Yeah.
No way.
European? Like, is the best you can come up with? It's, yeah, strange. It is also kind of like nighttime here in this setting of this throne room. So he turns to you and he says, in this accent, when did you first encounter the play The King in Yellow?
It was... I'm trying to remember right now, legitimately. Was it given to me by one of the tenants of the building?
I believe that you found it in Thomas Manuel's apartment, hidden in a potted plant.
Yes.
Or at least his version of it.
Yes, absolutely. That's what it was. Okay, yeah. Because I knew it was in the bookstore. Right. Yeah.
And the rest of you also, as Leanne gives her answer, you can understand what she says, just not what Dr. Friend is saying.
Years ago when I was on a mission, I was investigating this man's room as part of my mission, and there was a potted plant, and the book was inside, and once I picked it up, I couldn't put it down.
He puts his hand over his heart and he's like, I understand what that's like. It's whew. And he like,
You.
yes, He gives this sort of sigh like he just had some sort of erogenous zone lit up. He's just like, and he says, yes, I understand. But he's in this accent still. I understand. He's such a powerful piece of work. And this is when you were investigating the Abigail. Yes, Abigail, right?
Yes. Thomas Manuel's apartment. I don't know why he would put it in a plant. That's such a disrespectful thing to do to such an incredible piece of work.
It is, but it is not for us to judge other people. It is the job of the king.
Is this part of the healing?
What's that? What'd you say?
Is this part of the healing?
Yeah, because you only
I only hear half a conversation.
Yes.
What the hell?
The fact that the doctor sounds like he's going through a stroke right now.
Now, quiet down, please. Remember, we give everyone a turn. And he turns to.
I'm sorry, I can't understand gibberish.
Yeah, and when he says that to you, it's like, he turns
orderlies,
to Thelma.
orderlies. The doctor's losing it.
You turn around and you look at the orderlies, and they're still nearby. But instead of 4 orderlies at the corners, there's about a dozen people in guard uniforms.
Oh.
And he turns to Thelma and says, Thelma, this is the first time you're seeing this. The pink room is gone, and you are in a noble courtroom. And hanging from the walls behind this empty throne, there is this big black banner, and on that banner is a sigil. It must be the sigil of this house, but it's familiar to you. You've seen this before. You saw this in a mirror, and Bucky or Magnolia or whoever was very excited about it. It was drawn in Greece, but here it is on these fancy banners, gold on black. And he looks at you and he says, Thelma,
Quick question.
have you seen the yellow sign? And you understand him. All of a sudden, you get this language. Thelma's got some, academic skills, right?
PhD in history.
Do you want what's your history base score?
80.
Okay. Here's what you know. You do a quick scan around the room of the noble room or whatever it is. And it is vaguely European, but also carries elements of both the Iberian Peninsula, of Portugal and Spain, but also kind of veering toward the Middle East, Mediterranean, Turkish or Lebanese or something like that. Because you see windows that have bulb shapes to them, and you see kinds of stitching and stuff like that, which would place this there. But all that being said, you would place it 19th century. It could be French, but more likely it's some indeterminate small country or duchy or province you've never heard of. It is unique and blends a lot of different cultures together. The language that you've heard him speak, what languages do you have?
Don't think I might.
I believe you have Latin.
A Latin and Spanish.
Okay. Using those together, what are your skills in those?
If I add them together?
Well, I'm just saying, what are they compared to each other?
50 for Latin and 40 for Spanish.
Okay. Roll me a Latin plus 10. So try and roll under a 60 for what the language he's using.
I failed. 76 out of 50.
I'll remind you, this is not life or death, but you do have a hero point if you wanted to try that again, try and place this language, but it's up to you.
I don't know if this is I don't know if this is worth using a hero
Just
point.
gonna let it lie a little bit.
know.
Yeah. You've got such a good history score that I'm gonna give you something here, which is that the language that he's speaking seems to be Iberian in origin, but since you've never heard it before, you're guessing that it's extinct.
Okay.
And he looks at you and asks, have you seen the yellow sign?
She's probably gonna be trying to look down and like when she answers. I believe it looks familiar, yeah. Maybe in a history book?
Maybe. Are you sure you haven't seen it anywhere else?
Maybe. I don't know. Can't recall.
He gives like a little sad little smile, and he's sort of like, okay. He's disappointing. And he turns away from you. And he looks at Tim, and you can't understand what he's saying. He just says to Tim Bale, he goes, speaking this sort of vaguely Spanish, Portuguese, French language. And Tim sort of like thinks for a minute and like frowns, and he's like I guess. I mean, I don't know, but again, it's a matter of like, time, like what are priorities? And he says something else, and Tim frowns like he just said something awful to him, And then he moves on, and he looks at Tommy. Yeah, Colin, do you have a question?
Yeah, but I'm gonna go to Tommy first. I'll jump.
Sure.
Appropriate.
He goes to Tommy. Says, Tommy.
Oh,
Have you found your bottle?
I got a bottle in here? Sorry,
Oh,
what
no.
happened to your voice?
He starts laughing, and Tommy, the room melts away.
Oh,
You're in
fuck.
some sort of France.
I ain't never been to Europe, so what the fuck?
He looks confused, and he says, Tommy, your bottle, your soul bottle, have you found it?
Who the fuck are you?
He writes like angrily on this like scroll, and he goes, useless. And
you making fun of me? You making fun of me and my Italian heritage? You really want to do this right now, Doc?
He turns away, and it like starts talking again in this language, and just moves on. And he says something.
I'm not done with you. Hold on a second. I stand up and I grab my chair.
The orderlies behind you, two of them step forward.
Oh,
Says,
wait.
Tommy, please. We do not. We are already going to be taking somebody to the grey room. We do not want to take you. You would not like it as much.
So sorry. Just got uncomfortable in my seat. Sit back down and look at the guards and gauge how close they are.
So now I want to ask, did the guards multiply again?
The guards, since when you came in, there were 4 orderlies. They now appear to be about a dozen guards. And 2 of them sort of approached Tommy in this palatial circle, but now they sort of stand about 10 feet away.
Okay.
So they don't return to their post.
Magnolia Bradley Bucky would like to, I don't know what to call this, but if this was like Cult Divinity Lost, this would be like a see through the illusion type roll.
Yeah.
There's really what I want to do here is for all that we all just heard this guy talking and like, speaking in tongues in turn to people. We all just experienced
and
the
when
weird
he
shit.
speaks to you, you can understand him.
Right. And I don't know if anyone else has clocked it, but I think Bucky has clocked the guards suddenly being greater in number. And so I want him to kind of look around the circle and lock eyes with everybody.
With the other agents, or with Tim and Mr.
With the other agents. Fuck Tim Vale.
Okay.
With the other agents, to communicate like you're all seeing this, right? Like I'm not the only one.
I haven't seen anything yet, and I would like to put that upon hearing what has been said before this point from everyone else, because I can hear their part. Maple's actually sitting there with her eyes closed.
Okay.
And just rocking back and forth, her eyes closed, naked as the day she was fucking born.
So, as soon as he turns away to look at somebody else, we can't understand him anymore. But are we still in this new like palace room?
The room persists.
Okay.
We're all still. Oh.
After the room transforms, when he questions you, it lasts.
Oh.
You just can't understand him unless he addresses you directly.
So that's another big, are y'all fucking seeing this look?
Right, so you're sending that to everybody else.
Yeah, I'm trying to communicate silently to everyone.
Like, what the fuck? Okay,
Are you all
yeah, I don't think a roll is necessary there.
Okay.
I think, like, the five of you have worked together for, 4 or 5 days now? Like, you get alarm on Bradley's face. Like, y'all getting this. And what kind of looks do you give back? Those who are not naked and closing their eyes.
Yeah. I shoot him yeah, I get it, but I'm like, play cool. Eyes to guards.
For me, I think it'll be like something where I'm like, I think I'm still basically avoiding trying to look around that much after I've done like one sweep of the room, but it will be one of those things where I kind of like do little quick darts of the eye up to like look at the people that I know are like where everyone is. And I'm assuming there'll be some point where Magnolia and I will like, even if I'm kind of just going quick, like if Magnolia is persisting with that, then I'll probably like end up being like, just, yes, I'm seeing this and I don't want to see it anymore.
Magnolia, roll me a human.
I'm so good at that. I'm like the best at that.
I know.
Wait, actually, I was joking. I'm actually not that bad.
What?
And I nailed it. 17 under 51.
Excellent. Maple's got her eyes closed. You get those vibes from the others. What does Margin communicate? Liv?
Margin is not looking at anyone. Her eyes are fully trained on that big empty throne.
Mm-hmm. Good for her. Margin is distracted by the setting, the chair, the banners. Because it's their first time seeing it, I need Maple and Maltese to make me a sanity check after seeing the yellow sign.
Seen it? I haven't.
Oh, that's right. You will in a second. Let's do that first.
Okay.
Because here's what happens. After he finishes asking Wilde, Wilde sort of thinks for a second, and then he says, I don't know, a bit boring, I suppose. And as he's giving this like answer to a question you didn't hear, his eyes are darting around the room. And Magnolia, as you scan for a response, he is looking at you dead in the eye. And like he sort of like wiggles his eyebrows just a little bit. And he gives his answer and sits back down. But now as it turns to Maple, you see the room change. And you see the banners. So now I do need sanity checks from the two of you.
Even my clothes,
I'll need another sanity check from everyone for
Maple's eyes still closed?
Yeah, my eyes have been closed. Am I gonna?
Oh,
Do I
great
just see it
question.
because I have my eyes closed anyways? I mean, it's magic, so.
You have your eyes closed and you hear the man directly to your left finish speaking. And then you feel the cold get, it's a little bit draftier now. And where there were plaster walled sound waves, now you hear sound bouncing off of stone and carpet, and your feet feel this red carpet. Well, you don't know it's red. You feel this thick carpeting beneath your feet, as if you are somewhere else entirely. Would you open your eyes at that point?
No.
Okay.
I heard talk of the sign before from Mayday.
Okay. And that's tricky because Mayday gave an answer. I don't know if she mentioned the sign, and you wouldn't have understood the question, right?
She mentioned the reason why is because she mentioned that.
She didn't.
Yep, she mentioned what happened in the bathroom when I asked her about it last time. She knows that she saw something, and so.
Okay. So you're afraid
you tried
of
to convince me
Santa.
to just leave all of this behind because of this sign. So.
Maple, in that case, all you hear is a maple. And it's Dr. Friend with his accent. Who was the most exceptional person that you have ever known?
Yeah, I ain't telling you shit.
There's silence. You can't perceive any reaction. You hear a sigh. And then Bucky. He says, Bucky, how long do you think it will be until the end of the world?
Your world or mine?
Writes. And he says, do you not think we live in the same world?
Now, Dr. Friend, I think you and I both know that's not true. We don't live in the same world, you and me.
And what are you basing this conclusion on?
Oh. Well, the way I see it, right? All of us are just sort of like, I don't know, like torches or like flashlights in the dark, you know? Just sort of like you light up what's right in front of you and you can't really see anything else, you know? And if there were like other flashlights out there that were wandering around in the dark, but they were too far away from you to see, you'd think that you were the only flashlight, right? But really, you know, you can think about it, if that's all you see is just what's right in front of you, that's your whole world, right? And all of us, that's all we're doing. We're just flashlights wandering around in the dark. Everything we see in front of us is just our own little world that we live in. So my world's not the same as, and he turns to Tommy, not the same as Maltese's world. And he turns to Maple, or the same as Maple's, or the same as Mayday's, or the same as Margin's. We're all in our own heads at the end of the day. So my world's gonna last a lot longer, and if I have anything to do with it, I would say that your world's gonna end pretty soon.
I see. Well, it's a very nice metaphor, which is rather unexpected from you. But you're saying that reality is subjective, yes?
Suppose you could say that, yeah. I mean,
If we go with this metaphor of the flashlight, All you see is right in front of you. Your scope is limited. You only see what is in front of your nose.
Yeah, that sounds like about what I'm saying.
What about in the
Long
shadows?
Well, I don't know. Do you?
All right, good session, everybody. And now, of course, as we get ready to move on, just to be clear, has anybody found any unusual books or plays they would wish to share? Yes, Bucky.
No, I haven't, but I was threatening to kill you just a moment ago.
He smiles.
You get that, right?
And he
Clock
says,
that.
To be honest, Bradley, and as he speaks, the room starts to revert, and his clothing starts to change back. And he says, Bradley, to be honest, you have made so many threats against my life, and I just wish we could connect on a different level other than pure physical violence, as nice as that is. All right, everyone, maybe next week we'll have cigarettes back again, but I think for the time being you're all free to go, except for Bradley. And two of the orderlies step up and they wrap their arms through your arms, Bradley. He says, Bradley is due for an appointment, and so we're going to take him to that.
Time to kick up a shitstorm. As soon as they put their arms on him, he's just going to try to do that thing where he, like, kicks out.
Okay.
And, like, try to aim to kick Dr. Friend in his stupid eldritch face.
Yeah.
Eldritch face!
Out to that.
Kick on your energy legs.
With my energy legs.
Yeah, I mean, so we've got a lot of things happening here. You're getting sort of like pinned here, restrained by these two beefy orderly boys. I did, for the first time ever, I should have done this a long time ago, I put a combat quick reference sheet in your journals, which will help for situations like this. It just hasn't come up that much. You're not necessarily trying to break free, you are just trying to sort of kick Dr. Friend. Would that be fair?
Yeah, and I can't emphasize this enough, in his stupid eldritch face.
In his stupid eldritch face. Okay, got it. Roll me an unarmed attack then.
I would love to.
Unarmed combat.
Absolutely love to. That'll do. Success, 40 under 83.
That is a success. I have a villain point. Reroll that just for fun.
This guy.
Get a load of this.
Ooh, even better.
17. How you like them apples?
I love those apples. Roll me your damage for that roll, please.
What would that be? I
for an unarmed attack, let me check, because it would be in that combat quick reference sheet I send usually. Oh no, it doesn't. No, it's not. I believe it would be like 1d4.
But what if you're like real strong? You know, like strong.
How strong?
I mean, your boy's got what do I have? I have a 16 in strength.
Okay.
And an 83 in unarmed combat.
Roll me a d6.
Okay. I would just love to. How do we do? 6.
Look at that.
Kill a guy.
You plant your foot in his stupid eldritch face.
Thank you.
And you feel the satisfying crunch of bone beneath your foot. And when you pull it away, Dr. Friend's nose is crushed and impacted into his face, and blood is streaming down his nose into his mouth, and he is smiling at you. and the orderlies who have you take you toward the door where the 2 orderlies outside unlock it. And then they close it and lock everybody else inside again.
As he's getting dragged away, he's just, great session, Doc. See you next week.
Fantastic.
Bye,
now I kind of regret having my eyes closed for that moment.
Yep. So Magnolia, Bucky, Bradley, is dragged from the room, but not before kicking Dr. Friend in the face. And Dr. Friend looks around at all of you, and sort of like he still has that like smile on his face, despite looking awful, and like reaches up to his nose and goes and pushes it back together. And he sort of like stretches for a moment.
Does it like actually snap back into like? Is it like a normal like just someone just trying to readjust it, or
It's
is it like
not like
again?
Play-Doh normal. It's not like supernaturally normal, but it is kind of back to where it started, and it sounded painful. And he's like the blood on his face starts to slow. For transporting to a different realm, I'm gonna need sanity checks from everyone, even if you had your eyes closed. And
I don't remember the last time I've passed a sanity
Crit.
roll.
Okay, so I'm looking down here. We got a failure from Lonnie. We got a crit success from Turkey. We got a failure from Margin, a success from Bradley, and a success from Maple.
That's not a regular success. 5% out of it.
Yeah, it's a very low roll, so it's very good. It's just a regular success, but if all those successes, you take 0 sanity loss. If you failed, you take 1. And I need Tommy to make me another sanity check at seeing the yellow sign.
Okay, fine. Gonna make me use my critical on non-1 and 95 on.
Yes! Welcome to the party!
I do
Let's
not want to be
fucking
part of this party. I would like to leave this party immediately.
No!
I would like to Irish goodbye this party.
Not the Irish goodbye.
He's seen it. He only takes 1 point of sanity loss. However, Tommy, you are filled with energy. Like that sign that you saw on those banners. I don't know. You tell me. How is Tommy compelled to share this sign at least once with somebody else?
Question.
For example, the one person on your team who hasn't seen it.
Yeah, no, so that's the thing.
Don't give me the herps.
I did see the yellow sign before on the pamphlet.
Oh, you did? Did you resist?
Yeah, you tried to share it with me.
And then I burned it. I ended up burning it.
Oh, you texted it to Maple, right?
Yeah.
Did you resist? Did you succeed on that save?
I failed. I then tried to contact Maple, and then she's like, "Yeah, don't do that. Burn it." And I'm like, "I trust Maple. That sounds like a smart thing to do."
You did try to share it with Maple. In that case,
me
you don't lose that 1 point of sanity. Only happens when you see it for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was already at the party. I still want to leave, though.
Dr. Friend is left there with all of you, and after just a moment, he says, all right, now, I sincerely hope that is the last incident we are going to have, and I get the feeling that when Bradley comes back, he'll be in much better condition.
What's his treatment for exactly?
You know, I wouldn't even worry about it, Tommy. I don't think you're even a candidate. So it's not a big deal. We just took him down to the gray room for some rehab. And he'll be back with you soon.
We've heard of the gray room before, right?
Just
You've heard that used in passing, yeah.
And it was used in a bad way. if I'm recalling correctly.
It had that vibe to it.
Mhm.
As it's someplace
really
you don't
nice.
want to go. But maybe it is. Maybe it's really, really nice. Speaking of which, let's go there. Magnolia, you are being pulled down the hallway. And as you sort of like
Is it
are
Mr.
being
Ed? Is Mr. Ed one of the orderlies, or is it?
It is two orderlies have you by the arms, and Mr. Ed is trailing at a distance, bat out. And as they're sort of taking you away from the main stairs, they turn a corner down a hall, and they turn down another corner. And then you see that you're coming up on this door that should, you're on the third floor, exit out into open air of the outdoors. And they open that door and take you through that into another hallway, which is a mind fuck. And then they turn another corner. This is not normal. But eventually they come...
Space. Cool.
Yeah. And eventually they come to this room that is this large, sickly gray metal door with, it has a red star painted on the front of it. And one of the orderlies, I guess Ed, opens the door. And the orderlies take you inside. And inside this room, there is it's a gurney, I guess would be the term for it. But it's like it's a cot or like a bed, but it's up at like a 45-degree angle, maybe a little bit higher. And that's the only thing here. So they sort of take you over there, and they put you in a reclining position. And they say, all right, up here. And the walls of this room are just unremarkable. They're like every person who stages houses for a living to sell got together and came up with the most neutral color you can think of. And they strap you to this gurney, and they back away, and the door opens again a few minutes later. And Dr. Friend enters, pushing a medical cart. And he looks at you and says, don't forget his head. And a strap comes around the back and pushes your head back against the gurney.
Now, is that really necessary?
Of course it is, Bradley. You don't want to be hurt, do you? And we back out of this room. And in the interest of safety tools, we don't see what happens in here. But what we do see is that, not long, maybe 10 minutes later, Dr. Friend exits the room, and on the cart we can see this vial filled with a red, viscous, oily substance. And it's filled all the way up. And a few moments later, the orderlies escort Bradley out. And Bradley, you have this huge bruise under one of your eyes. And that's where we'll take our break, I think. I think trauma is a good place to take a break. And we can figure out more about that later. But also, when we come back, agents, agents. You have free reign to sort of explore, look around, talk to the people, find other people, find a way out. We'll see. So everybody stay here. We'll be back in like 10, 15 minutes. We're just going to get snacks, and then we'll come on back for more horrible things. See you in a second. Welcome back.
I'm gonna live forever.
I don't know why it's so funny that LC says good luck. I don't know if she's talking to me or talking to you. I guess we'll find out. But hey, welcome back, everybody, to Impossible Landscapes Group Therapy. We can check that off our to-do list. And just after that, Agent Magnolia, aka Bradley Bucky Ethan Barnes III, was taken off to the Gray Room, where there was an extraction of sorts. Before we go any further, Colin, I need a sanity check from Bradley.
That is a failure.
Ooh, that is a failure. So we censored what happened inside that room, but it is
It's gross.
it's pretty gross. But Bradley does have some resistance to things. He does not. Does he have resistance to helplessness?
Both helplessness and violence. He is adapted to both.
In that case, this does not bother him.
Also, you are echoing. Just saying. At least
I'm echoing?
No.
No, I
Who
fixed it.
echoing?
It was the. I got it. Yeah.
Okay. I will say this, Bradley. There's no real skill for, doing a self-inventory or anything like that, but you were in this helpless situation where they strapped you down. But as you leave, I don't even know how to explain it. You feel slightly less connected to whatever unnatural powers behind this whole thing. It's kind of like when the King in Yellow and all that draws you in, it's got new relationship energy, and that energy has dwindled a bit for Bradley.
Oh, I'm losing the honeymoon phase with the King in Yellow.
It's true. But you do have this big, nasty swelling under your eye. I'll let you pick left or right.
Right.
Sorry, that's wrong. No, just kidding. Yes, you do have your right eye is swollen, and so you emerge back into the halls of the Dorchester house. Others, you have been let go from group therapy, and you are all sort of just in the hallway, but also Tim Bale is there, and Mr. Wilde is there. Mr. Wilde, in sort of a hunched manner, just sort of moseys up to all of you. Tim, after it releases, obviously off in a hurry somewhere. He's got stuff to do. So he takes off. What do you do?
Well, I gotta talk to my co-conspirator over here, Mr. Wilde. Anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
Gonna, if we're all leaving at the same time, and there's no other orderlies around, guiding us. Oh,
Their orderlies let you out and close the door to the room. They don't lock it. And then they all sort of wander off in different directions.
Okay. Right, I'm gonna go talk to Mr. Wilde over here, and I will let you all know how that goes, because...
I'm right here.
Oh! Shit, you are. How do I miss you? You're like an athlete.
He's pretty short, he's 4 foot something. And mostly because of the way his posture is, but
relatable.
He's just sort of standing there with all of you. He says, "Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to continue our conversation, huh?"
Yeah. You
Come on,
said you
let's-
know. Yeah.
He takes off, starts walking. He's like, "Come on, let's go walk and talk."
I'm gonna go walk and talk, folks.
Takes you off down the hallway. Anyone else tagging along, or are you just going to let them have privacy?
I want to actually go after Bale.
You're going to go after him to try and stop him? You're just going to follow him?
Follow him, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to do so without being noticed, or like
that's
you
cute.
were just
You think I
naked?
can?
We're all
You
out
think
there,
I can?
yeah.
You think I can sneak? Nah, I'm not being subtle
Okay.
about this. I'll
So
be
that
obvious.
leaves Leanne and Thelma together outside of the pink room. What about you two?
Are there any like? I hate that I'm even saying this. Are there any like scheduled activities that are just like group drawing time or?
You don't know. You could feel free to ask someone. For some reason, you can't think of anything.
But all that
like
came to
that.
mind was Liv. You don't know.
You don't know. But there is like just down the hall, in that same direction the others went. There is like one of those nurses' booths where they give out the medication, and it's just kind of like it's got a little drop window, and there is somebody sitting there, either a nurse or an orderly. He is just sort of sitting behind this plexiglass.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go up and just
Okay.
like, hey,
Huh?
Hi.
Hi.
Is there anything planned for today? Like, I don't know, something other than group therapy?
He looks confused, and he's like more group therapy?
No,
No, there's no why. What do you want to do?
no. I just figured there'd... Never mind.
Yeah, never mind. Just go do whatever you want. He goes back to sitting there, staring, doing nothing.
I'm gonna walk up next to Thelma and just say, we could go read or something.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. I'm gonna like offer my hand. And then,
I'll just take it and be led, yeah.
Yeah.
I love this pairing. And you want to go find books, right?
Oh yes.
Both of you make me a sanity check.
For books?
Yep.
Yeah.
Books have never let me down in the past.
Oh, they're the
I
best.
failed.
Oh, Martin
No,
fan.
just
What about?
Ooh, I finally passed one.
Yay.
Yes, excellent, great. No loss happens here. Thelma, your head spins at, as Colin said, the non-Euclidean space of this building now. There are doors where there were not doors before, and windows where there were not windows, and it's always night. And with that critical success, you are sure that this building is not playing by the rules. And with that failure margin, you lead Thelma down a flight of stairs, through a door, and into a library. The two of you throw open these two, kind of like hospital doors that swing both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And you throw open one of those doors, and before you is a library with ceilings up to maybe 100 feet, dark wood buttresses and architecture, and as far as you can see, books and books and books, both on bookshelves that stretch all the way up to the ceiling, and in other places piled throughout the library.
Is this library familiar to me?
You don't think so. It is a big library, but I would like an awareness. I always forget. What is it? The one.
Alertness.
The check where you look.
Alertness.
Yeah, alertness.
Thank you.
I will say that Mayday does not cross the threshold of this room at all.
I walk in like without a second fucking hesitation. It's not a second thought. And I
don't know how like steadily you're holding onto my hand, but I will just stand outside the doorway and like just kind of loosen my grip.
It's fair. I don't think I would like drag you. So yeah.
But the hand sort of lists there as Leanne walks inside with a 12. You've never been in this library before, but elements of this library are familiar to you.
That's what I thought.
And as you start looking over the books on the shelves, most of these books seem to be very old, and kind of exotic. Like they were published in another country than the one you're from, and some of them are in English, some of them aren't. Most of them aren't. But as you're looking over all of these different books, you start just like paging through the titles, and you grab one, you pull it off of the shelf at random. And as you look at it, it is a book called A World with No Doors by Emmeline Fitzroy. And this book you've seen before.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
And you sort of like look it over. It's the same story of this girl. Drowns herself, goes to this other country. She's going to a party, and you remember the whole story. And at the party, she meets a phantom, this person in a big white mask. And just as a refresher, because we haven't seen this book in about a year, this book has this sort of plot in which this girl goes to this other country, but everyone there is stuck in something they call the dance, where the people are forced to live these boring lives, these repetitive lives, because they're trapped by this music, and this phantom is the one who's causing that to happen. This is all just coming back to you. You're not reading it, right away. But she returns again and again, and eventually she defeats the phantom, and then she takes the mask and becomes the phantom, because without the dance, the world would be chaos. You remember that book? It's the same one as that red one with the two buildings. Like not two buildings, but the two skylines.
Yeah, the 9 buildings.
Yeah. You keep looking, and there's other books here if you want to look for another book or grab one.
I'm going to hold on to that one for sure.
Sure.
Is the mask described in the book at all?
It is only referred to as a white mask.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't give any other specifications of what it looks like. What is Thelma doing out in the hall? Eventually, do you follow, or do you stay there and sort of watch?
I'm actually going to start backing away.
Okay.
I am going to utter something along the lines of, they didn't know what kind of activities were planned for this, but this doesn't feel like something that is an approved activity.
Mayday?
I'm just gonna
Mayday.
and she's already like trying to back up towards the staircase.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go see if they'll like sedate me early, I guess.
I'm not.
You turn around. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I'm not gonna chase after you, but I am going to like turn and like. Would you say that this is like a dark room, or is there lighting?
It's night here.
Okay, yeah. So
And so there's shadows pretty much everywhere. You do get the occasional beam of moonlight or flashes of red and orange light from outside.
okay, yeah. So basically you see Margin turn around, just like fully cased in these shadows, as she stares at you. You desperately trying to retreat. And again, she's not going to run after you. She's not going to chase you. She's not going to drag you in here. After all, it's better when people come willing. But she is going to look at you and say, I thought you had questions. I thought you wanted to know the truth. You can't know the answers. You can't find answers if you run from them, Thelma. Get in here.
I like finding
Get
answers.
in here.
I like finding answers on my own, and these are feeling like they're being forced down my throat or something. Can I just like turn to try to like put my hand on the like railway of the staircase? Is that like literally right behind me?
That's where it was when you came here.
That's where it was. What if I do kind of like, I'll kind of do the thing where I'm like searching for something with my hand, and when I keep meeting empty air, eventually I'll turn around to kind of just...
When you turn around, there is a long hallway where the stairwell used to be. Outside of this library, it just sort of stretches, and it has the Dorchester house, in your experience, has had these like white plaster walls, marble / linoleum floors, kind of like an old early 19th, 20th century building, you know. And here, when you turn around, it abruptly enters a hallway where the walls are sort of like wood paneled, and the floor is carpeted, and it's like a hallway in like an apartment building or a hotel. And as you turn around, there's a figure in the distance coming toward you. A small figure.
You said there's wood walls?
Yeah, it's wood paneling.
Is it,
You want to sniff them?
you know what? Does it, how does, that's literally what I was thinking. Do they smell like the same
That
thing?
makes perfect sense. In order to determine your next step of action, how about a sanity check from you?
Boy. Nope.
It's a fumble.
Yeah.
So you just take 1 point of sanity
Okay.
at this being unusual, you know, but then you immediately go over to the wall and you give it a whiff. It does not smell like linseed oil. It does not smell like Esther Samagina's apartment. But that figure is moving towards you, that little figure, and now you can hear a little sound. And Margin, you see it too. It's way off there, but it's like approaching, and you hear this and as it approaches, you see that this is not a person. It's some sort of doll or something like that, like a little statue of a child or a baby, but from the waist down it has wheels. It's kind of like an automaton or some sort of a puppet, but it is approaching you, and it doesn't look like it doesn't have like a weapon or anything like that, but it's heading straight down the hallway towards you.
I want to push myself up against the wall and see if it'll just go past me.
Okay. So you back up, you flatten yourself against the wall, and it keeps coming and coming, and it's 10 feet away. And now it's 5 feet away. Is Margin watching all this? and it gets to directly in front of you, and it stops. And on its little wheels, it just sort of turns. And this compartment in the front of this doll, this clockwork thing, there's a click, and this compartment opens up. And out of this slot in the middle of this doll's impossible body comes an envelope. And it's just sort of like hanging there, pointed at you.
Me, Margin. Okay.
Although if you want to be the person that the creepy doll thing is holding a toy out to, or an envelope out to, that's totally fine.
No. I think this is for you.
I'll kind of like look at the doll and be like, "Oh, I think you have the wrong person. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you'd be giving me an envelope. Maybe my friend over there knows who that's supposed to be for, but that's
it rolls
I think that's for me.
Slightly towards you and back.
I don't know who would be sending me a letter right now.
Towards you and back.
If I kind of just do like the little sidestep with my back against the wall to the right.
It follows.
Okay. I'll take it. I won't look at it. I'll kind of just like hold it down, kind of like be tapping my finger on it and be like, "Thank you."
From the sense of touch, you can feel this envelope it's vellum. It's not normal paper. It's like very nice, thick paper. And you don't look at it, but you say thank you. And it just sort of stands there and it turns and starts back down the hallway.
Okay.
Open it.
I don't think that's a good idea. I would like you to remind me which direction we came from. Because again, this doesn't feel like we're supposed to be here, and I just want to get out of here. Even if I have to do the whole working my way down from the 3rd floor to the 1st floor, I want to get out of here. Okay?
I look you dead in the eye and smile. I don't know where we came from. Open the letter.
It's a great joke. It's a great joke. You open it, and I'll put it down on the ground and kind of like do the thing where I kind of just slide it towards her a little
Not
bit.
on the ground.
With your foot? Just like...
Yeah, literally just drop it on the ground and just kind of like extend my foot, slide it forward a little bit, and then take a few steps back.
Can I look at the envelope and see if there's like any revealing markings on there?
There are. You look down at this envelope, and written on the front of it, finely done in cursive and ink pen, it says the following. Ian Frederick de Craig, prisoner 125101, as the addressee. And I'm actually even gonna just sort of put this on your evidence board.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You're so kind. Ian Frederick de Craig, who the fuck is that?
You're not sure. I don't think you've come across this name before. But as you stand there holding it, deciding whether or not you're gonna open it, let's jump back to somebody else. Let's go with Maple. Maple, you are following Timothy Bale. And similar to what we've seen with other people, he goes down hallways that should not be here. He turns corners that should end in there being no more building, but there is. He opens doors that open onto other doors, but you keep up with him. After a while, he gets back to this place that looks kind of like a residential part of the building, and there are patients here coming and going. You see a few faces that you recognize. You see Dorothy again. Dorothy is the one who said she could hear voices and stuff like that. She is just sitting down, just sort of like picking at her skin. Seems very calm, seated there. And then you also, as you're passing by this sort of like open area, you see a woman that you haven't seen before. She appears to be a patient from the way that she's dressed. She is a beautiful black woman, seems to be in her mid-20s. And she is dressed in patient wear, but she also has like a headband, which is like, like she's got her headband and she's wearing it, and the fashion of it seems kind of out of date. And she is also sort of moseying around.
I think I'll go talk to her. I'll bail on bail.
Well, fortunately for you, Tim goes down to the end of the hall, and you see him open a door and enter a room that must be his bedroom or something like that. So at least you kind of know where he is. But this woman who is sort of standing there, I don't have her pinned up, but I will put her in everybody's journals and show her to you. This is what she looks like.
Oh, she is cute.
She a cutie. And she is just sort of standing there, and as you approach, she says, "Oh, hi, Marianne."
Maple. I've always preferred that.
Okay, Maple. Hi.
I'm sorry you have me at a disadvantage, sweetheart. What's your name?
I'm Deborah. Deborah Carver. Remember?
Clearly not. You know, sometimes it comes and goes.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
Oh, you know, just wandering around the halls after another successful group therapy.
Oh, in the pink room?
Yeah.
Yeah. The place is strange, but I guess if it's helping, we're getting better, right?
Suppose so. What are you in here for?
What, the sanatorium?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've told you this before, but that's all right. I'm here to try and get rid of my drug problem.
Oh. Right. How could that?
I hadn't.
Help my mind.
I hadn't. But I mean, it's fine. I've been here for a while, so I think I am improving just a little bit. You haven't seen any bugs around, have you?
Can't say I have.
Okay.
Did you want to see bugs or?
Oh, I just love etymology. You know, especially I was reading about this bug. It's like a bug, but it's like gold. It's a beetle, and I think they're native to this place. If you see one, you bring one to me, okay?
Of course. Be happy to.
Oh my God, I can't wait to get back out here and back to the hotel. You know, I know it's important.
What hotel?
The hotel where I live, the Broad Album.
Do I recognize that at all, or?
I would say that in your review of the case from 20 years ago, the Hotel Broad Albin came up a lot. But that's all you know.
Well,
Hey, you got any smokes?
I only have the one left.
Oh, I don't think you have that one left, sweetheart.
Oh, did I take that one?
No.
Oh, it's a book that I got, right?
Unconscious.
I burned it, dude.
Yeah, weaponized it, and they took your smokes away.
Sorry, can I just say, because I'm fiddling around with this is actually just a piece of paper anyways, that is just a piece of paper she's been playing with.
Don't smoke, kids. Or do, I don't care, I'm not your dad.
No, I don't got any. They took it. This is just for comfort's sake. It's just paper.
Okay, well, I'll see you. I gotta go. She just sort of wanders off.
Nice talking with you, Deborah.
Yeah, bye, Maple.
Thanks.
The room to John's place, Timothy Bale's place where he was going, still open. You want to go check it out?
Yeah, let's do that.
What's your alertness?
Oh, not high. Non-existence. My alertness is a 29. It would go up a little bit.
That needs a roll. Come on, make me an alertness at +10. So try to get below 39.
+10. Okay.
29. That's not nothing.
It went up.
Yeah, that's a.
It's an 83, so it's a failure. Not an alert woman.
As you approach Tim's room, you notice a couple things, and these are not reflected by that failure. You notice that in his room, like you can see in there's one light bulb naked, hanging from the ceiling. That's the only light in there, so it kind of has a creepy vibe. But then also throughout his room, you see piles and piles of books. And he's seated on what appear to be a stack of like yellow pages or white pages that have formed into a chair with arms for him. Like someone stacked them up in a way that it's a throne. And he's seated there on there. And in his hand, he has this big seafoam green rotary telephone. And in the other hand, he has a receiver and he's talking to someone, but he sees you coming. And so he stops talking when he sees you approach.
Is there a cord on that phone? Like, is it plugged in anywhere?
There is a wire coming out of the back of the phone and going off into the room to a place that you can't see from where you are.
Hey, Timothy. Sorry to stop in on you.
That's okay, Maple. I'm sorry, I gotta finish this. Can you give me a second?
Sure. She'll just stand back at the door.
Okay, Jesus. Okay. He goes back to talking on the phone, and he's like, okay, no, it's nothing. No, I don't know. I think he drinks it or something. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. It's a mansion, he says to this unknown person, but Lundin needs to build it first, so send Asa. Okay. Bye. And he hangs up the phone. And comes back and he goes, sorry, what's up?
Nothing much. Just wanted to hang out with you.
Hang out? That sounds good. I got all these things to take care of. I got a bunch more calls to make. Can you,
is there anything I can... Oh, I mean, you said in group that you're feeling a little overwhelmed. Like, maybe I can help. As you probably know, I used to work in a lot of information, right? I used to work for the NSA.
Yeah.
Maybe I can help you.
I've heard that. The phone rings. And he goes, shit, one second. Would you mind waiting just in the hallway just a minute?
She'll sit on the bed. If there's a bed. Is there a bed?
There's not. There's
She'll
another
sit on a
stack
pile
of
of
books that you
books.
could sit on. Yep.
She'll sit on a stack of books.
Sits on a stack of books, and he like looks at you and just goes, "All right." He answers the phone, and he says, "Yeah." No, it's not. You'll see them. No, during the raid is when you'll see them again. They'll run on the stage. Okay. All right. He hangs up the phone. And then it rings again and he answers it again. He goes, sorry, hold on 1 second. He goes, hello? Go. No. 20. Leave them in the water. 20 children. Damn it. He hangs up the phone.
What do you do for work?
What?
From here? What do you do? What do you do? They have to be on the phone all the time.
I make sure things happen. The same thing that you did. I mean, I have obligations, stuff that I need to ensure gets done. And I'm the only one, apparently, who can arrange these things. And it's just nonstop.
Why don't you let me help you?
You can't.
What? Give me a task. I'm certain it's got to be something that you're not on this by yourself.
I can give you a task, but if you want to help somebody, I mean, the guy to talk to is Wilde. And that's where we'll jump back to Wilde and Tommy. You are walking slowly down the hallway, and Mr. Wilde turns to you and he goes, all right, well, we should probably cut the bullshit, huh? You weren't here yesterday, or whatever yesterday is. I don't know who you are, but you're not from here. You're being real quiet, kid.
That's right. Yeah, my group is just got stuck here.
The group got stuck. What's the name? What are your friends' names? And he takes out this book and he starts looking through his little notebook covertly.
It would be all the, I would tell him all
the cop names.
I give him the cop names.
Okay. He looks at it. He's like, "Now that's not what I heard in the pink room, but oh yeah, look at this, Levesque. Look at who is. Sorry, what was Mayday's name?
I think it was Deputy Morris.
Okay. He goes, and Morris got a brother. Okay. I don't know how you ended up, but I guess I'm here to help. You help me, I help you.
What kind of help you need?
What's that?
What kind of help you need?
I got all sorts of shit that needs doing. Some of it's small, get somebody fired, kidnap a kid, but some of it's real big. And all of it needs doing. And I'll figure it out one way or the other by writing it in the book. But if there's something that you can do for me, I get the feeling I can get you what you want.
What do you think I want?
I think you want answers. I think you want somebody to explain what's going on here and how to get out.
I'm going out.
I think you want to know what the King in Yellow is.
Frankly, I want you to put me in a room with the King in Yellow so I can bash his fucking brains in. Lock the door, give me a baseball bat, let me go to work.
I can get you that too.
Right now, all I'm worried about is getting my people out of here.
I see.
So let's start there. We're not supposed to be here. and I'd like to no longer be here in, respectfully, this fucked up place.
All right, patience, Padawan. Just, it's a Star Wars thing. Chill out. I move fast, but not that fast. I gotta call in some favors, call my lawyers. We got lots of shit to do. So, first things first. You get me what I need. I'll think of something. And in response, I'll help you with your reputation. And then he pauses for a second and he goes, wait a minute. Do you hear that? Where is it? Where is it? You realize now, after you've been walking for a while, you are in this section that you have never been in before that looks like a mid-level data entry office. There's cubicles everywhere. There's no computers on the desk. It looks like it was abandoned. But it looks like just a workspace. And he's standing, and you realize you're in the middle of it, and he's spinning around in a circle going, it's here somewhere. I know you're here, you motherfucker. Where are you? And he's like looking around.
What are we looking for? What are you talking about? I don't hear anything.
Shh. He puts his hand up towards your face. Doesn't touch it, but he's like, shh. The cat. And then you hear this, and you see like this blur of modded calico fur come leaping toward Mr. Wilde and like climbing all over him and like clawing at his face and like clawing over his back. He's like, fucking cat. And he takes the cat and he like throws it as far as he can towards the cubicles. And you hear this crash, boom, 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 boom. He's like, I swear, fucking cat, I'm gonna fucking kill that thing and come on, let's get out of here. And he starts walking again.
Why the hell's the cat angry at you?
Cat's not angry at me.
Why is he attacking you then, huh?
He does that, all right? I love him so much. Fuck. Okay, here's what I need. There's a guy here, a patient. Miller. Guy is, he's a broken man. He needs his situation improved. And the only way for that to happen is for him to get out. Now, there's a couple ways that could happen. I could send him with you when I send you, but I think he'll just slow you down. I think a better idea would be to get him an invitation to the ball.
The throwing dances here now?
No, not here, the palace.
Yeah, of course. Oh, stupid me. Yeah. And Mickey
The
Mouse
palace.
and Cinderella gonna be there. Yeah. All right.
Grabs you
Yeah.
like
No,
by he takes his like his twisted hands and grabs you by the lapels. Well, not the lapels, but like the collar of your shirt and pulls you in. He's like, in Carcosa.
I don't know where that is.
You don't know. You don't know.
No, clearly not. I didn't study geography hard enough or something. That between like one of them tiny little things between Spain and
I'm
Germany
going to give you a free taste.
I
How does that
don't know.
sound?
I don't know if I want that, buddy. I think you are.
Okay.
You are enjoying the buffet right now, and
Here's the thing.
I'm just yeah.
Here's the thing. The buffet, this Golden Corral, is the only way out. Do you see what I'm saying? I could tell you more now. You wouldn't believe me. All right. But the short version is that world that you think that you left behind, I can send you back there. But it's a fucking lie. You think that someone is tricking you and they wiped your mind and you're in here because they're tricking you and this is a fake place. This is some sort of alternate reality. This is the real world, shithead. Now, if you want to get out of here, you don't go back, you go through.
It kind of leans down. Mr. Wow, I respect your convictions here, and I don't know what through means in this situation, but we got people who need to go back. And if we can work to through eventually, I'm sure we will work to through, but there's stuff we gotta do back there.
Fine. But I need Miller to get an invitation to the ball.
Gotcha.
If he does, I'll tell you everything I know. Truth in this place, he looks around, comes at a premium. You can talk to the doctors, you can talk to the orderlies, but they don't get anything. Did you hear friend in there? Oh, have you ever found a book? Tell me more about this book. What's the party like? Of course he's like that. He wants to go, but he can't because he's not chosen.
He's a critic.
I'm sorry I called you in there. Shit.
It's fine. This means we're friends, huh? Knock his shoulder a little bit.
I don't have friends. Oh, except for you. And he turns away. And the cat has come back and now jumps up into his arms. And he's petting it. I hate this fucking thing.
Yeah, all right. So, I gotta get the invitation to the ball.
Yeah, so it doesn't need to be addressed to him, but he's got to go.
Fantastic. And I put that in Miller's hands, and then you will get us all out. Anybody
who wants to get out, I can help. I'll connect you to a Sherpa. A guide who can lead you out of this place.
Okay, yeah, that's what we need.
But it's not safe. It's not a solution because you're trying to solve reality, which is different than you've ever imagined it to be. Doesn't make any sense. But I can get you out of here. And whether or not you want to stay in your pretend world or not is up to you.
Just show me where Miller is. You know, get him a damn invitation. And
That's
just
him.
make sure you're good for it.
He points across the room to a small crowd of people. And one of them is off by himself. It's Matt Miller standing over there, looking out a window at this nighttime skyline that is not Boston.
All right.
I'll find you. Oh, yeah, I'm around all the time.
Yeah, I'll see you later, buddy. Best
Okay,
to
so
you
long,
in
buddy.
the...
So long, you fucking cat! He takes the cat and he throws it again. Bit me.
Yeah, well, you gotta love it.
Make me a human check, if you would.
Yeah, okay. Am I gonna meet Tweedledee and Tweedledum next? Oh, 54 of 36.
Something about that guy. Have you met him before? Let's go back to... Well, we haven't seen Magnolia in a while. Magnolia, you are walking down a hallway in a bit of a daze. And up ahead, you see an intersection. And it looks like on the right there are these double doors. And you think you see Margin in the doorway. But then there's also a hallway leading to the left. She's looking down that hall.
I think he's in a little bit of a walking in a dream state a little bit. Just, lost a pound of fluid from his head parts. So I think he's just kind of not all here. So walking down and seeing Margin, I think his little, like, drugged and then beat up chipmunk brain is just like, ooh, Margin. And walks through that door.
Margin, here comes Magnolia, Bradley, Bucky, and he has like this swelling under his right eye.
He looks like shit.
Maggie, are you okay? I'm like gonna go over and just look him over.
I don't think any of us are okay.
Well, no, definitely not. Come here, sit down. And I'm gonna take him over to hopefully there's a place to sit, right? Or at least
There's a hold on. Make me a sanity check.
I passed.
Not in your immediate vicinity.
Oh.
Yeah, but there's like an alcove. You can get some privacy at least and sit on the floor.
Yeah. We'll go and do that.
When Margin all of a sudden goes off with Magnolia, is there any way that I am no longer in a long hallway that I can't see the end of?
You're still where you are.
Can I follow? Can I like see her interacting
You see them.
with?
Yeah, you see all this happen. You are like looking at her and she's got this little envelope and then Magnolia comes up. You're there.
Okay.
You're just like a distance away.
Okay.
A medium distance.
I'll probably kind of follow behind, hoping that eventually I'll just... She led me, Margin led me to where we are now. Maybe she can lead me out.
Nice. They are in the hallway, I think, outside the library. There's just a little, like, nook. That's where you find them talking. What are they talking about?
Yeah, I think I'm just kind of like looking him over, looking at his like bruise and stuff, and just say, do you have any idea what happened to you? Like, they just took you and we had no clue what was going on.
They tortured me.
Oh, I see.
It's not the first time. I had worse.
It doesn't get any easier, though, I imagine.
Oh, no, it does, actually. Yeah. No, it gets a lot easier. Yeah. No, the first time, typically they do it in stages, so they just kind of show you the stuff to start with, just kind of show you like what the instruments are they're going to use and try to get your heart racing a bit with that, and then they usually will they'll have you watch someone else that they're torturing too, so you can see what's going to be done to you as well. And so by the time they get those jumper cables around you, you've sort of already experienced it in a way. Now, nothing prepares you for the first time, but something does prepare you for the second time. The first time does, and the second time prepares you for the third time, etc., etc.
Well, I've always said nothing's harder than the first time.
Now that is true. But see, it made me realize, when I was in that camp, I kind of figured if I just waited long enough, I was either going to get out or they were going to kill me. I mean, that was pretty much the only two ways that could end, right? I was either going to escape or they were going to one day slip up and forget to keep me alive for another day. But with whatever's happening here, I get the feeling that that's not the case. You know, like we could just do this forever.
I get that feeling too. Do you like to read?
No.
That's a shame. There's this book I read years ago. Oh God, I'm gonna get it confused with an actual book that Liv, the person knows. The Doorway.
A
What's
World
the title?
Without Doors.
Perception?
Yeah, The World Without Doors.
Oh.
The World Without Doors, and in it, there's a lot of stuff that happens, but one of the things that comes up, I can't believe I forgot about it until today, but they have it in the library. It's a great library if you want to check it out, but one of the things that it talks about is there has to be a continuous dance. There always has to be a phantom, and the phantom leads the dance, and if the dance stops, the world ends. But the thing about the dance is that it's so goddamn boring that it drives everybody else. I mean, I would say it would drive them all mad, but it also kind of seems like everyone's indifferent. It's boring, it's uneventful, it's mundane. And that made me think about the Delta Green code. As Delta Green agents, we're not protecting the world, we're not saving the world, we're keeping it mundane and boring. What if we're the dancers? What if Delta Green agents are the dancers? Doc, please.
I'm not doing anything, just agreeing with this great take.
I think I'm going to interrupt at this point.
Thelma interrupts, and when you look up at her, you realize for the first time that she's got a big black eye. Her right eye is deeply bruised, yellow and purple.
What? Bubba, what happened to you?
Well, they got to you too.
Think about.
Your eye.
She'll kind of like touch her eye, but like.
It's sensitive. It screams like a bad bruise.
I don't know. But Magnolia, I got a little lost on my way back to my room. You just came from that area, right? Could you just leave me back? I'm just tired. I don't want to read anything today.
Well, I mean, you can't read anything today. You have a party to go to. Well, actually, not a party. I don't know that. Sorry, that was meta knowledge. You have that invite that you have to read.
She'll kind of like go closer to Magnolia and just kind of like tug on like a shirt sleeve or something, just with like, if he looks at her, just kind of give those like wide eyes of like, I want to get out of here.
Like, Margin's crazy, save me.
Yeah, he's
Warned you.
he is like so.
I was gonna be
you
like,
can
I
tell
don't even know if I picked up on this.
he
Listen,
is so out of it.
You look tired. I don't even remember getting this, so I must be tired.
And then the last thing you need to do is wander down the halls endlessly.
To go to my bed? No, I think I'm okay. I'm okay getting to my room.
He stands up. I'll take Mayday. Don't worry, Margin.
Thank you.
Oh, before... I do kind of look like irritated, but I snatch up the envelope and I put it in Magnolia's hands and I say, before you go, don't forget this.
What's
There it is. Ian Frederick de Craig. Prisoner, what was it, 12510? I can't read it, it's too small.
Here, I got you. I'll take a look.
Isn't it?
12510, yep.
I can save both of y'all the trouble. As soon as she hands it over to Magnolia, I kind of just like put my hand over the envelope to kind of just like push it down.
Mm-hmm.
So like he can hold it, absolutely, but like let's not look at that right now. I don't trust anything that a creepy baby doll just handed to me.
All right, let's go to your room, I guess.
Yeah, just remind me the way. I guess I'm tired.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And off they go. Colin, I know you need to bounce tonight. If you need to bounce early, that's cool.
It's already
What a night
late.
on this druggy man. But let's check in with all the other folks real quick. I mean, first of all, Margin, it didn't open the invitation.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Do you go back into the library? Do you go somewhere else?
Yes, I go back into the library, and as I walk through the library, I am going to call out, Robert? Robert, are you here?
Make me a sanity check.
How many Roberts?
3.
Did you say it a third time like Beetlejuice?
I do. Robert!
No, I need that sand check.
Yeah, I got a 12. I succeeded.
Do I have a villain point?
What? Villain points!
I don't want you to fail this.
That's fair.
I probably do, right? Probably.
Probably.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Elsie. Go ahead and re-roll that for me.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I got a 15.
So sane.
I know, right?
There is no response. It's a big library, though.
I'm honestly kind of sad. I was hoping he was here.
Was I?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep walking. I'm gonna let myself get lost in the library, and as I'm walking around, not only am I, not only am I like looking at books, I'm looking for names I might recognize. Thomas Manuel, Roger Caron, Mosby.
Like the books, like within the books. Okay, you start looking all of these books over.
Yeah, and then also just like anybody I know from my past, or anybody I know from like this case.
Okay, I would like a roll here. Search.
Okay. Oh, that I'm probably gonna fail at. Yeah, 91.
Don't find any names that you recognize, which is a real bummer. But you are looking through the stacks of books. They are of varying sizes and ages, so it's really weird that some have these like almost old portfolio kind of bindings. And others are like glossy, and others are hardback, and so they sort of like run the whole gamut. But then you come across one that looks familiar, and you read the words on the binding, and it is mental illness in the workplace.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Mental Illness in the Workplace and Beyond by Devin Greenbrier.
Greenbrier, okay.
You're like, I know this. And you sort of piece it together. Oh, yeah. It's where we got that hit for that name that we were searching for, right? Like Seer, the people who made the phone.
Yeah.
Right. And so you take a look at it. It is like this gray cover. It's glossy. It looks like it was printed in the late 80s, early 90s, where like the font and like the graphic design of it and stuff like that. Written by this Devin Greenbrier, published, it says, by Grolier International in 1986.
Grolier International, 19.
That's what you get just from like the first page, you know?
Yeah, sorry. I was looking at the little guy on there. And trying to see.
Yeah, how about that? There is a symbol on there, isn't there? Can you make out what it is?
It looks like a little goat.
Yeah, that's good guess.
I mean, it's got like a goat head, but it doesn't look like it has a goat body.
It does have that kind of vibe to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And like you can look it over, but it appears to be kind of just a very dry, it's not like a manual, but it's like a for companies to sort of assess things, and it's very like nonfiction, like blah 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 blah, you know, and it like has all these chapters, and at the end of each chapter, just like you remember, there's like little workbook sections, and it has all these names, like and you start looking them over again. One of them is Ophelia S. is a secretary for Seer Inc. Blah, 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 and it gives a bunch of stuff. And then the next one is, you don't remember this one from before, it's Maximo F. It says Maximo F. is a regional manager for Seer Inc. who had a psychotic break due to the death of a loved one. He reports to human resources that invisible spiders are infesting his workstation. Do you, etc., etc. And then another one is Abigail W., which sets off alarms in your head.
Yeah.
And then Mark R. sets off alarms in your head. And then there's another one that wasn't there on the PDF version for some reason. This one is just, it's the last one listed there. But it says, Thomas F. is the example given. And it says, Thomas F. is a firefighter who helps with safety protocols at Seer Inc. On his most recent visit, he was complaining about his sister who works as a paramedic. He thinks she's actually a puppet, and he can see lines connecting her to the ceiling wherever she goes. Do you? And it gives you a bunch of examples.
Okay.
So that's a good library trip for you.
Yeah, I would agree.
Let's go back one more time to check it on Maple and Timothy Bale. He finishes his phone call and then comes out. He says, okay, you wanted to help. I don't really, I mean, help is great, but I don't think you can. It's just, it's one of those things.
How many people make up a legion?
Legion? No, that's a Roman thing, right? Like a legion, isn't it 500 or 50? I don't know.
I think it's 5,000 actually.
Yeah, it's a lot. Why?
Oh, just something to do with your last name. Reminds me of this something I read about a Bale in control of, what was it? 66 legions. A lot of people.
If it's 5,000, that's a lot. Especially, I mean, yeah, obviously the bigger number, but that's like a lot. That's weird.
It is.
Like, you know what's funny, he says? A lot of people here, they don't call me Tim. They call me King Bale.
Weird coincidence. Does anyone else here got funny names?
I mean, names are names.
Right? No, I mean, I go by Maple.
You want to be Maple.
Everyone else calls me up. Everyone else calls me Mary, Mary Ann. But I prefer Maple. I've always liked it better.
There's Mr. Wilde. mean, that's a weird name, right? Wild. I have no idea what that guy's first name is. There's Dorothy.
I mean,
Johnny.
I don't know. You have a lot of phone books here, making a lot of calls. I just wondered if there's a way that you have connection to a seer.
Like somebody who can see things?
No, last name is Seer.
He thinks for a moment. No, I don't know that.
Shame. Suppose it was a long shot. Thought maybe you could get in contact for me.
I guess. Oh, wait, do you mean... He, like, pauses for a second.
I think I said the name correctly. I can't remember.
Roll me a human to check.
Okay. Any modifier? Or just as is?
Nope.
A 12 out of 72.
Very good. That name did ring a bell for him. And he's being very careful not to let that show.
Okay. I mean, if you, you know what, forget about that one in particular. Just, since you have a phone and all. Yeah, I mean, just forget I asked. I just wanna, am I allowed to get a call out myself?
Well, it's the same as you wanting to help me. I don't know if you can. You're welcome to try. I mean, I'm gonna go take a piss if you want to use my phone.
I appreciate it.
He leaves you there. Goes down the hall. And you are in the room with these piles of books and this throne made out of books and this phone with a wire going back into the stacks.
I would like to pick up the phone. Does it have a dial tone?
Pick it up, and it does.
Okay,
But the tone is wrong. All dial tones sound the same. Or at least they did when I was a kid. This one sounds off. By a note, or by a few fractions of a note,
Well, see if this works. I'd like to use the number that we used on the satellite phone.
Star 616.
Yep.
The phone, you dial star 616. Nothing happens. Make me a sanity check.
See how my brain does. 57 out of 68.
Dead.
Damn.
No ringing.
Because the one time I wanted to be crazy. So the phone's dead entirely then?
I mean, when you do the you hear the dial tone, you do the rotary and there is a little bit of static, and then it just stops.
Damn. Alright, she'll put it down and leave the room.
You sure you don't want to check out that cord? Nah.
Knowledge is death. She didn't get this. She didn't get as far as she has by
get the memo.
Open her nose.
And so you leave. I think we're gonna go back one more time to see Tommy. Tommy and Mr. Wilde have parted ways. What is Tommy doing now?
I'm gonna go talk to my new buddy, Matt Miller.
Okay. You approach this guy. It is this weird. My brain's not working. It's this setup where he's in one place, and then there's another group, of three guys that are just off a little ways, and it seems like he's with them, but he's not participating in their conversation. That's the makeup of the scene.
Mm.
And he's sort of looking out this window at these blooms along the skyline. And that's when you notice that it's still night outside. And there's a skyline that is not Boston. And it's being lit by what look like explosions or missile explosions or something, but that's the only light on the sky other than a few flickering lantern-like lights on these weird bulb-shaped buildings. And as the reddish orange of those explosions light up the sky, we can see this shot in profile of Mutt looking out the window, and you walk up next to him, both of your faces just red.
Hey,
Sanity check.
okay, sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. We're not in Kansas anymore. 1962.
Nope, they're not going to break Tommy that easy.
Nah.
So you're there with Mutt, and he looks at you and he says, "Oh, wait, Tommy, what's up?"
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we know each other already?
Yeah, dude, we met like 5 times. Every time you're like, "I don't know you," and I'm like, "Okay, Tommy, you're Tommy. You're a firefighter. You're from New York." My accents are going all the way. You're from New York.
Yeah,
You're
Jersey City.
the same thing.
It's lucky I haven't hit you yet in those 5 times then.
You have one of them, but
All right, well, there you earned it.
yeah, it's all right. No, it's fine. Whatever. What's up?
I need to get you an invitation. And I don't know how to find people so well in here, so you're going to stick with me.
He like looks around. He's like, he looks at that group. He's like, "Come over here," and he like gets a little distance. He goes, "The invitation to the party."
Yeah.
You tell me you can get me one, so I can get out of here.
I'm going to make it happen, buddy.
Why?
Because I want to get out of here as well.
Not as bad as I do.
Well, clearly not. You want to go one direction, apparently. I want to go back the other.
One direction, the other. What the fuck are you talking about, man? It's in the same direction.
I was talking to Mr. I was talking to Mr. Wilde over there, and frankly, you know, he's one walrus short of an Alice in Wonderland story.
Oh, buddy, I got horrible news for you. I mean, that's it, everybody. It's me, that's them. Although I feel better. Than I have felt in a long time.
Good. Yeah, feel better.
I want to go. I gotta go to this party. I've given up on the idea of going back to the real world. You know, it's like when you get discharged. Were you in the army?
No,
Okay, you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't. So.
Okay, well, it's like when you're discharged and you come home, and it took that whole thing for you to realize that the world that you left at home isn't real at all. You know? Like, you survived something, you come back and nobody there is who they say they are. And they're all kind of kidding themselves. And so there. He like stops suddenly. It was there, look. And he points across this weird office space that you find yourselves in. And you see you see 2 people at a far distance crossing the room. You see them?
I am seeing them.
No, look, and he points. And as he points it out, you see that at first you think these people are like running or jumping, but That's because they're not touching the ground. They're kind of floating. And that's when you see that they have clothes on, but their heads and their hands are blank, shapeless, white. And he's looking at it and says, you can't see it from here, but the puppets, if you get close enough, they're connected to the ceiling. And you look up, and throughout this entire space, there are these tracks running along the ceiling. How about one more sanity check?
Okay, fine. Everything is set up and eerie and
Oh, my boy, do!
73 out of 62.
Just 1 point of sanity loss at this revelation.
Question if your sister's a puppet.
Nah, I'm not uploading that.
I have a suspicion, he says. If you follow them, and you follow them for long enough, it can lead you to the night world.
Is that like the real world, but not? Which way is the night world? What does that matter?
It's as good of a explanation as any. It's the real world, but it's not. It's real. And it's awful. It's incredible. But it's your only option.
I'm going to take your word for it. And I put my hand on his shoulder. But right now, you'll come with me to go meet some of my friends, and we're going to go figure out how to get you an invitation, okay?
Yeah. Roll me a persuasion check.
I do try and give him my best smile here.
You do. Give me a plus 10 because you're a friendly guy. Oh,
27.
there we go.
27 for 42. Didn't even need it.
He goes, all right, yeah. And along the way, I can tell you about, and he looks at that group like he makes sure that you're out of range. And he goes, I can tell you about the door.
Okay, you say whatever you want as long as you keep walking with me.
The two of you are walking, making your way to find the others, when a man runs up to you. This man he looks sick, but he's small. He's a slight man. His hair is kind of in a mess, and it looks like he has a thin pencil-thin mustache, a pencil mustache, but he hasn't shaved in a while, so it's just like, that that's usually the darkest part, but the rest of his face has this stubble all around it. And he runs up to you, and he sort of like reaches out to you, and he says, please, you must help me. Please, can you, sir, can you help me? And Mutt goes, not now. And he says, no, you. And this desperation in his eyes. And he's wearing like silk pajamas. And he has this frantic look on his face. And he goes, I'm not sure. And Mutt stops a little ways away to give you time to talk to this lunatic. Because I'm not sure, but I think I have killed someone.
What do you mean you think you killed somebody? I mean, are they not breathing? Are they nearby? Can you take me to the... This is serious, but if someone's dead, we gotta, there's steps here.
Not just one I was told. He told me. A boy, a girl, a boy, a girl. And then Mutt comes back over and he says, "Not now, Asa." He grabs you by the arm. And as you turn back and look at this guy, Asa, you see that his hands are raw and waterlogged and peeling, as if they've been in the water for too long. And he says, "Not a problem. It was only a dream, I'm sure." And he goes off running in another direction.
Seems like you fucked.
And on that note, that's where we'll end tonight's episode. With Maltese telling Asa Darabandi that it seems like he's fucked.
Feels about right. Feels like a good general statement. Like there's some irony there.
It does, and accurate. Oh boy. Yeah. So we're deep in it now. I think we're starting to peel away these layers, and we're left with kind of the central question of this chapter/season of Impossible Landscapes, which is, which reality is reality? And there are people here who seem convinced that the night world is the reality and everybody else is doing the dance. That perhaps in a world without doors, the girl is actually traveling to our world as these people dance and go through these. But the task in front of the group is clear, and you guys seem to know that you want to get out. You need to find a way out of here, back to what your lives were for some of you. For others, no, deeper. Let's go deeper. And you've made some connections with people who may be able to help you. But then there's also this question of what's going on with the Grey Room. And that's all that. So that's our show for tonight. Colin had to bounce early, so I'll tell you guys to follow Colin Amacon on Twitter and go check out Six String Games, where he and his friend, our friend Anna, make like super small mini like tabletop games that are amazing and great. And you should all go and support them and buy that. So thank you, Colin. My Colin moment, even though he's not here for tonight, was there was this scene at the end when he was reflecting on being tortured and being held prisoner, and it was the first time I've seen Magnolia be a human being before, I think. And an awful human being, but human. So we want to thank Colin. But now we'll go around, we'll talk to the rest of our crew here. Give me a highlight, something you'll remember from tonight, or something that was had the most impact on you. We'll start with Turk, because you were last. Turk, I'm so glad that Tommy had more on-camera time this week. Tommy's usually pretty quiet and is not always at the forefront of being the face and talking. But you got to connect with Mr. Wilde, which I thought was fantastic. And then Mutt, and then Asa Darabandi. Turk, what's going on, man? What you got? What's happening?
I feel like the issue I think Maltese is running into is he's in the wrong places to talk all the time. Like, he loves talking to people, but he always is going to places or like trying to look into things, and he's never, in the scene. It sucks, but not in a bad way, just like for him.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
Does all the living part without the talking bits. This is going good for him. Scene that really stuck with me, I think, is just going to be how scary Liv is.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
But kind of in a hot way. So
no comment.
I don't know what to do.
I am not scary.
Aroused.
Aroused.
But I do also think the therapy in the pink room and that kind of shifting, like your accent tweaks. I mean, this whole sequence, obviously, anytime we hit Night Floor stuff is
for sure.
And so memorable. So Yeah, more things that I do. I do things, I swear.
Good. Tell us about Oats Warm.
Yeah, well, I'll get to it.
Sorry.
No, you're good. No, so first up is next week is Recall Week, which is the thing we're doing on Lost Caravan. A bunch of people bringing back characters they played in the past, but new games and scenarios, and that'll be fun and interesting. So I will be in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's games. I am in Paradox Perfect. I'm a player in Paradox Perfect and in Lancer, and then I'll be running Necronautilus, where the players are gas cloud agents of death in a universe where everything is ruled by death, and they have to use the English language to make words sound funny. Then I believe it's next Thursday. I do have Last Transmission, so I won't be here, but I'll be sending love. I know. I'm sorry. Always the worst times for me. But
we can say that you leave Mutt with Mayday.
You can get things
I probably
sorted.
have the invitation he needs.
Probably do.
But beyond that, of course, the 13th is Oathsworn. It's my campaign I run over on Neon Lights Roleplay, which is Ozzy the Dragon Lord's game. It's Greek mythology, high fantasy, throw it together. Players just did a prison break of themselves, and now are in a tense political standoff involving a lot of Medusae.
Meduses?
Meduses. I think Gorgons. There you go. Gorgons is kind of a catch-all term for. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. It's like the 5,000 Legion. Technically not correct. Depends on your period of time. Anyway, I'm a classic Civ major. But I'll also be running the next instance of Caravan of Cthulhu on the 14th, which I also realized. And then I'll be right back on your screens here for more Maltese action on the 16th, and I'm very excited about that. So obviously it's been incredible. Every you see on your screen here, and the person you don't see on your screen here, people you don't see on your screen are all fantastic and deserving of your praise, love, and support. So give it to them and be a nice person to yourself as well, or else I will make you do that. I don't know how exactly. We're still working out the logistics, but I have some connections now. We're expanding.
Nice. Amazing. Thank you, Turk. Love you, buddy. Thank you for being in here. Liv. The more unhinged she gets, the more great moments I have for her. I think there were two. One of them was brought up in our group chat, which is, and I think it's in one of Cyberella's drawings for the week too, of just, shoot, what was it? It was, I thought you wanted answers. Like, get in here. I love it. Agent of Chaos. My other one is where Mayday desperately wants to go back the way you came, and you say, I don't know where we came from. It's just, Margin, my darling. Oh my gosh, I love her so much. How about you? How you doing, Liv? What's up?
I'm doing as well as I can. I'm about to break down the cages of the bars of my entrapment of my fucking cage, because I swear to God, it wasn't until I feel like I truly had a breakthrough this week. Not to lick my own asshole or anything like that, but I truly feel like I had a breakthrough this week, because it's worse than brown nosing,
Yeah.
I feel like I took Turk to a place with that one.
No, I love it so much.
Not trying to lick my own asshole, but the whole breakthrough of is Delta Green actually the dancers? I was very proud of myself with that one.
Here's the wild part, okay, is that is not definitively answered. It's very interpretable. When you look at that book, right? Mm-hmm. In the first season, you found that book, A World Without Doors. Mm-hmm. And the assumption that all of you came to at the end of that was, she must go to a different reality and save the people, want to save the people there. Mm-hmm. And you today proposed the opposite, right? which is that like, what if it's the other way around? What if we're like real world needs saving, needs exposing to the King in Yellow? And I think that's closer to the intent of the book. But just seeing you guys unpack that is a lot of fun and rewarding.
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Okay, deep breath. Existential dread. We're good.
So
We're all
much.
good. We're okay.
Good.
Ground
No, there's
yourself.
just
We're
so
touching
much.
things.
No, I'm working on things. Things are in the oven. I'm cooking. Let me cook. Okay.
Let her cook.
And then
Let her cook.
I'll tell you all about it later. But for now, you can catch me over on Under the Table, a Total Party Chills indie-focused showcase show. I'm pretty sure we're in between seasons. We might be taking this Monday off. But I received a hint as to what our new season is going to be. And let me just tell you, it's gonna be magical.
Ooh. All right, girl. That sounds like so much fun. Let's jump over to Lonnie, aka Mayday, aka Thelma, this poor sweetest bean of the group. Lonnie, any takeaways from you today? I love watching your reactions when you connect things that happen, even if you're not in that scene. Like when Mr. Wilde's like, I've got to talk to my lawyers, blah, 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 blah. I see you go bing, you know what I mean? And all this other stuff. So anyways, that's my Lonnie joy for the week. How about you? What's going on with you? What else is up? Tell them about that relay watch.
Oh yeah. Well, so for takeaways from today, obviously, one thing I've learned is not to fuck with Margin.
Never.
Maybe quit my assistantship with her. It was a really short one, but maybe might
you don't get
have
to quit.
It's not an option. 2 years notice.
Oh, I didn't even sign paperwork. You know what? Didn't even sign paperwork. Doesn't matter. Can't make me. But also just the fact that we now have a Miss June as well as a Mr. March is fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, so if you want to see more things that I do, as you know, as Doc kind of just alluded to, there is a game during Recall Week that I'm running called Relay Watch, which is basically just like Cthulhu vibes mixed with Baywatch. It's gonna be goofy. It's gonna be great. Princess Biscuits is coming back. Like, you gotta see that. You've gotta watch it. I don't know how I'll be, but I think the rest of my party, like
hot dogs.
My party is gonna kill it, and that's all I know.
It's a weird group.
It's gonna be so good.
It's
also too. It's literally Princess Biscuits and Maeve from two very different types of Western, like Wild West.
Both
games.
cowboys.
Both cowboys. Don't know if they're gonna like each other. It'll be interesting.
Biscuits is an acquired taste for anyone. But I can't wait for that. When is that? Is that Monday? No, we're meeting. We're doing our session zero.
Zero's Monday, Friday.
Yeah. Friday.
10th. Let me double check. 1 second.
I'm gonna run down the beach in slow motion. I ain't got nothing for bouncing, but if you like running.
I already have a request too to make sure that everyone gets to introduce themselves in the order of like doing a Baywatch opening title sequence thing.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait.
It's going to be good.
Yes, just everything slow motion with letters that look like they're on fire, but also spray paint. Yes, thank you, Lonnie. I can't wait. Thank you for being here.
So excited.
Gianna?
I exist in some form.
Try so hard. She tries so hard not to see that sign, and she hasn't seen it yet.
Hey, I know it's gonna happen, but I'm holding out. I'm going for as long as possible.
But my maple moment of the week. First of all, yes, obviously, her stripping naked in the middle of group therapy for some reason.
Rebellion mostly.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Is like there is a poem in there. We see these two sides of Maple where she wants to close herself off and not see the things that will infect her and harm others and the people that she cares about. At the same time, she is willing to be completely vulnerable and open and talk about lesbian sex in the nude during group therapy. Like, that is the beauty of Maple.
Hey, Dr. Friend took a dig at my Mr. March and tried to shame him for his body, and so Maple went on the offensive.
He's got this weird little quirk where he likes to insult everyone.
Yeah, very much a backhanded compliment.
What a dick, right?
To be fair, having been originally a Minnesotan, that speaks to me. Okay,
sure.
That's backhanded compliment.
Like when you do something and someone says, "Oh, that's interesting."
Yeah, exactly. Taste of home.
That's why I'm so good at it, because I live here.
Exactly. Hi, I'm Cyberella Draws. You can find me as both that. You can find me as that on both my Twitter and my Blue Sky, and on my Tumblr. I am such child, where I'll be posting up the pictures, including a very naked Maple. But my moment.
Why would you go anywhere else?
Why wouldn't I do that? But my favorite moment, as far as characters have to go, is just really fucking scary Margin. Just, oh my god, so creepy. And I love
Here's
it.
the thing. You guys keep saying scary and creepy, and I'm over here going, yeah. What does that mean?
Well, you're also controlling this world, and it's insane, so.
Well, I was also saying, I feel like I'm your dirty little messenger. I feel like...
A little bit. Look, she's kind of team King and Yellow, but also kind of team Chaos and make things interesting and push the button. There's a lot of appealing qualities to Martian.
Yeah. I've really thought about what I'm going to be doing now with Maple. So, pivoting a little.
I mean, Maple's got this connection with Tim, but he's also making weird phone calls and also like you guys are like connecting things, right?
Yeah. Doing my best.
Yeah.
Fail.
That's Bale. All right. Well, thank you, sweetie. I love you so much. I love all the art every week, but I love you even more. And I love Maple and her old ladiness. It's great. I love this whole cast. They're terrific. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around and watching. Don't forget to come back next week for Recall Week, when we, like Lonnie said, we take characters, and Turk said we take characters from other games and mix them all up and in a big salad bowl. And they're in different games where maybe they don't quite fit with other characters that they don't quite fit with. And it'll be a lot of fun. We're also raising money for Extra Life. Is that right? Extra Life next week? I think that's what I think, and I'm saying it, and it's so. So come and do that too. Also, I also want to say thank you to Agent, to Elsie, who was teching for us and being amazing week after week. She offered to let me share that if Agent had a color, she would be a deep, dark mauve. And I get that. That is very Agent. So everyone stick around. We are going to be rating Dork Tales. Woo. And checking out what they're up to over there. But come back here next week. I'm guessing 3 episodes left this season, and we're done. So here we go. Come back. See you. Bye.
Have you seen the yellow sign?
I mean, you have if you looked at Liv's, Liv's pattern room.
It's too late, folks.
Oh no.